All right. So
Oh,
do you want to do it
yeah,
now?
yeah. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Just do it. All right. So the cover photo for this episode is going to be the CW Flash standing over the grave. We're just going to poorly Photoshop up in me and Nick and MCU dead 2008-2022 with us giving us a good old thumbs up.
It's that time again. Time for the all-new Culture Cast, which begins right now.
Welcome back, everyone, to the all-new Culture Cast. I'm Nick, and with me tonight is
Cousin Charles, and I'm in a captain's hat.
Cousin Charles, also known as the White Action Jackson.
That's good. That's good. I should write that on a business card.
You don't already?
I should.
Yeah. For those of you who follow us, you might have noticed that we've had like a 5-month break. Our last episode was posted in February, and you might notice that you might be like, but Nick, you posted your Fateful Findies episode last week. Yeah, we recorded that in February, and I just got around to editing it then and posting it. So life has been I don't know, just
We're,
all over the place.
we're like SNL, all right? We take off for the spring. We come back and we come back stronger in the summer.
But we're back hopefully on more of a consistent schedule. For those of you who actually care and listen, I don't know who's listening. No one's listening to this.
Season 25, baby.
This is 6 seasons and a movie.
This is reboot number 12.
We're a regular DC Comics. And speaking of which, Cousin and I are going to continue to talk about the DC universe under we're going to take a pin on that.
We'll let that marinate for a couple years, see how Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, plays out. And after we're even more bitter and more cynical and just everything.
I'm optimistic. I'm going to be optimistic until I have reason not to be optimistic. Anything could be better than where the fuck Snyder was doing. Yeah, come at me, Snyder Bros. Come at me.
Well, as of time, it's June 4th, 2023. So in about 5 days, we'll see if the Flash is the godsend that the Snyder Bros and gun fanatics are hoping it's going to be. I think not, but
no, the movie looks like a mess.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a production nightmare. Ezra Miller is going to punch people, and it's not even going to be supervillains, just going to be production people on the set.
Like, even the Ezra Miller stuff, if that stuff never happened, like, the movie just looks like a mess. Like, what are they trying to do? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, actually, this is going to be it's funny we're going to bring up Ezra Miller because I think there's going to be a parallel to discussions of Marvel's future, which we shall get into later on. So stay tuned, kids.
So today, Cuz and I you mentioned it on a joke on our ongoing chat, and Corinne said you guys should do that as a podcast, and then it just kind of came to be. We're going to be talking about largely, I think, about MCU Phase 4 because it's been very decisive.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the ones that we've seen. I'll admit I've not seen much of it. Or maybe I've seen more than I realize. I don't know. I don't care. You've probably seen more. But
when I did a head count, I actually was surprised at how much of it I had seen because I was like, oh man, I kind of got out of it. But I realized it was more or less just for the last 2 Disney Plus shows. Otherwise, and the last movie, which is Wakanda Forever. So I was actually genuinely surprised. I was like, holy shit, I've seen a lot of these.
So what I kind of want to break it down in a couple different ways. While I was waiting for you, because we finally decided we were doing this like a mere 2 hours ago, maybe. So when I was waiting for you, I kind of slapped together a document. Ooh. And in this document, I listed all the productions that were in Phase 4. I didn't go into Phase 5. We can talk about Phase 5 in a minute. But I put in all the things, and I put down, this is, of course, take all this with a grain of salt, the Rotten Tomatoes score, the audience score, And in regards to the film, the budget versus the box office return.
Oh, that's smart. This is a
Because
scientific endeavor.
it is. Because like the internet is saying Marvel's going to close up shop. It's all over. Kevin Feige's going to get fired. Disney's screwing it up. It's all done. Bring back Ike Perlmutter. No, why would you do that? He hasn't been involved since like early phase 2. Off topic about Ike.
Oh God.
So like he's like a very big penny pincher type of guy. And to the point that like,
he was kind of a recluse, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And he hasn't been involved with the Marvel stuff since early phase 2, when Kevin Feige was able to push him out. And what is so weird, since Ike was fired a few months ago when Bob Iger came back, I've been seeing online like people simping for Ike all of a sudden. I'm like, I started watching a video and like I had to shut it off because I'm like, this is stupid. What are you talking about? And the comments that followed were like, what? Saying that like it was because of Ike that the MCU was the way it was. And maybe that's true to an extent that he's like, hey, let's put all these properties together. But to my knowledge, he didn't really have any creative control.
No.
Like, and people were saying like, yeah, like they fired him, but like all the stuff was planned out. So all the stuff up to Endgame was part of his plan. Like, no, like he was booted out like during like phase 2, during early stages of Age of Ultron, because, and the reason I think about all this is math coming through. Ike Perlmutter did not want to renew Robert Downey Jr.'s contract because he was too expensive. So after Iron Man 3, possibly Avengers 2, there was no more Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. And what's interesting is this is a story when I went to C2E2 and Chris Evans was there. I went to the Chris Evans panel. Ooh. And he made a comment saying how during early filming of Age of Ultron, Kevin Feige came up to him and said, "Hey, it's looking like we're going to be able to do Civil War." And like Chris Evans like, "Okay, cool. I don't know what that is, but that's great." I'm sure he had a familiar. But like to me that says they were closing in on getting Robert Downey Jr. back. And if Ike had his way, there would be no Robert Downey Jr. There would be no Civil War movie. So people are saying that it was all planned out with under Ike's leadership is dead wrong, and that's my like nugget of proof to like suggest that they're not right on that. I don't know. The people are simping for him bad. Like, why? You know what he did? You know what he created and made sure it got done? Inhumans.
Yep.
Remember how great Inhumans was?
You mean what was supposed to be a new flagship movie franchise, then demoted to shitty ABC television production?
Although the Inhumans movie would have been just as bad.
Although it did give the world Christopher Pike.
And Anson Mount. Mount Prospect, Illinois' very own Anson Mount.
Which, to steal a line from Red Letter Media, I wish my name was a sex move too.
Did they say that?
Yeah, I think there was like but Eddie, I had to include it in there because it's too grave a joke I had to steal it. I'm sorry. Don't sue me, please.
We're original in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I want to look at this from a different way because the internet is saying that it's all over, it's dead. But I want to see if that's actually true. So, I don't know how you want. Do you just want to go in this by order? We kind of
sure.
All right.
We can do, because the thing with phase 4, and again, I think COVID's fucked with everybody's perception of time. There was at least a 2-year gap where we had no new Marvel. It was Endgame and then nothing for 2 years.
Nothing for 1 year. 2020 had nothing in it.
Right.
And
'Cause,
then
yeah,
it came back in 21.
in January 21.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it was 2020. No new Marvel at all.
Which they should have done anyway.
Yes. But again, because even the great Kevin Feige can't predict a worldwide pandemic, he must have been left out of that Illuminati meeting. But I digress. But yeah, let's just take it from the top.
Okay.
Because we have, what is it? It's 7 movies and like 7 shows and 2
Oh, there's
specials.
like a shit ton of shows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shows and 2 specials.
So yeah, 17 projects altogether.
Yeah.
Because it's just numbers alone. I mean, if you look back at phase 1, phase 2, it seems so simple, so quaint. 5
Right.
movies, 5 little movies that could make,
I thought it was 6 movies. I think
5 or 6. Let's put it 5 or 6.
Okay.
And I think phase 3 is when they definitely started expanding the number.
Yeah.
But when I was looking back at just the again, I had done some just basic browsing in Wikipedia, but that was the one thing that kind of was like, wow, that's why this one feels so long and just cumbersome, is because there's 17 projects.
Right.
I've described it, phase 4 as the Marvel we're drunk on our own power stage. And now the hangover is starting to kick in, because when you see the projects that were greenlit in phase 4, it truly is like, we can do whatever we want, man. The party's never gonna die.
Yeah, and I have thoughts on that. I have big thoughts on that. So we'll just power through. Let's see what's go. So let's start with the films, and then we'll move on to the shows. Does that sound good?
Right. That works for me.
So Black Widow kicked off the film movies. The best movie of 2016 came out in 2021, but I saw this movie. I saw it on Disney Plus. I liked it overall. I mean, it did seem sort of like this should have come out after Civil War, maybe. I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes score 79%. Audience score 91%.
Really?
So people seem to like this one. Now, it could be just we're still in the afterglow of everyone loves MCU. So these Rotten Tomatoes scores we do have to take with a certain grain of salt, because people like to review bomb. And I know Rotten Tomatoes is trying to curtail that, but I don't know if people are review bombing and then people trying to review positive bombing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it had a budget of $200 million.
Holy shit.
But a box office of $379.9 million. So not a good box office, but something to consider is
in the green.
Well, I mean, this was during COVID.
Oh, that's right.
So that's going to throw things off, which is why it annoys me when going back to this, because we can't have a podcast without mentioning Zack Snyder. With the Snyderverse,
my personal Lord and Savior.
Like when people say, like, look, why did they give James Gunn the control of the DC universe? His Suicide Squad movie didn't make any money. It was a bomb. Yeah, it was also released during like a huge peak in COVID cases, so people weren't going to the theaters.
Yeah, and
they're like, well, that doesn't matter. Yes, it does.
Here's the other difference. I've seen The Suicide Squad multiple times. Do you know how many times I've seen Black Widow? Once. Actually, I will say this: the only positive from this movie is I had I did watch it at a pretty neat venue. There is a drive-in in a town called Moberly, about 40 minutes away from where I'm stationed at here in Columbia. So yeah, me and the missus got to sit in a drive-in theater and watch a movie truly on the big screen. So that was probably the best part of that whole experience. Otherwise, yeah, I haven't got many fond feelings for this movie. It's not because I hate women.
Yes, it is.
Coughing.
Haha, Andrew Tate fan club member right here. um, Black Widow, so standard, just standard. Nothing.
The,
Yeah.
it's as people. I will say, as we get through Phase 4, I know people have a lot of vitriol for like movies like Love and Thunder,
Hmm.
but I mean, they're probably. I mean, I would say in terms of entertainment wise, they're probably at the same level. It was. I mean, it's kind of like you can put it on the background. But
And this is how I've been feeling about Marvel movies, like after the first Avengers.
yeah.
Unless it's like a big spectacle, like Endgame or something like that,
Mhm.
most of them are just kind of like, okay, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It and I will say this, like, and here's what, and again, going back to this is a Marvel discussion. We got to bring up DC. I will say I am optimistic. I'm in the camp of I think James going to do good, because he understands that comedy in superhero movies comes from these extraordinary people talking about ordinary things. That's funny to me.
Hmm.
Like, just look at any scene from Peacemaker, the Suicide Squad, or any of the Guardians movies. It's just these extraordinary, out of this world characters talking about stupid shit, and that's hilarious to me. I can't name, but most of the movies, but I think Black Widow, again, from what I very vaguely remember about it, because I'm not putting myself through that movie again. I remember there's a Florence Pugh talking about being a poser.
Right.
And she sounds like she's about to catch a moose and squirrel. Same with David Harbour.
David Harbour was hilarious in that movie.
He actually was pretty good. I I low key like respect David Harbour as a project. Because he is,
He
if you
gives
need
it his
someone,
all.
he gives his all, but it's like, man, this guy, he portrays a heroic loser. You know what I mean?
Uh
Like
huh.
someone who's like just trying to do his best, but like, man, he is way underqualified for whatever his character's in.
My favorite. People forget this that David Harbour was in Quantum of Solace with Daniel Craig. He
Who's he in
played
that
a
movie?
he played Felix Leiter's coworker, supervisor. He was like he was like acting like a almost like a George W. Bush standing good old boy. He's always like laughing like in inappropriate times, like, oh, this turbulence in his plane is weird.
I don't
And
remember that at all.
because he was David Harbour before he was David Harbour, and if you go back to look, like it's obviously several years before Stranger Things and all that made
Right?
him a
Yeah.
household name, but like yeah, it's kind of funny. Like it's comical and it doesn't need to be comical, but like David Harbour's like so clearly thrown in this role. It's like, all right, you go, David Harbour.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was one, and again, he was one of the memorable things about that otherwise forgettable movie.
Yeah. And then the only other
There was like
thing the
two
movie,
scenes that he had.
yeah, I mean, he was good. He was good. I mean, again, but like, I mean, just because he's the best part of a very forgettable movie is like not really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of. I don't know if that's high praise. That's kind of just like not even a cherry on top. That's like the cherry that's buried halfway in between the sundae. Like it's like, oh, I guess it's there. Um, what else can I say about Black Widow? It taught me a very important lesson, and I think all movies should teach you a lesson, which is the most valuable resource in the world is girls.
Yeah. Don't go there.
I,
I don't know
I
if you're
love
being
that Harvey
ironic
White.
or
I
what.
love that Harvey Weinstein was the villain the whole time.
I mean, yeah, clearly a metaphor for all of that and sexual abuse and all that. So I'm fine with that. That's okay. I don't care about that. That's do it. Why not? But
It's not
yeah,
a bad angle to take for a female-centric movie. I'll give it that.
right. And
Um,
and the Black Widow character allowed for that pretty well. I mean, based on how she was already established in the MCU, um, it worked in that regard.
Mhm.
So
I think I guess the other big thing that I can think of talk about Black Widow is the fact that it's one of those weird things. For the story, it worked, like how they redid Taskmaster, like in this
mm,
particular story. But I guess if anyone was like, it's kind of a Mandarin all over again. It's like, hey, if you wanted to learn about this, why people like this character from the comics, you're not going to find it out from this movie.
well,
Like they,
it's funny you bring up the Mandarin because the next movie on this list is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, where the Mandarin was reintroduced into the MCU. I have not seen Shang-Chi. I want to. It looked pretty good.
I did, so I'll step in on this one.
Okay.
Uh, I really liked it. This was, I think, preference. Did not see this one in theaters, so but I did eventually catch it on streaming. I enjoyed it, but I think it also does show the strengths and the weaknesses of the Marvel formula, where it's like Act One kind of sets up like, okay, this is what this movie's vibe is, where it's like this, urban kung fu movie. You got like everybody's, everybody's after everybody's after Shang-Chi. I think he's called Sean when he's in America. He's teamed up with Aquafina because Aquafina was a thing. It was a thing for. I don't know if she's still a thing. I don't know.
She still is. She's
I know.
Scuttle in the new Little Mermaid movie.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Oh,
She has a
okay.
song, The Scuttlebutt.
Are you
It's a rap.
serious? Is there? Are you? I can't tell if you're joking with me.
No, I'm dead serious. It's a new song they made for the movie. That it's a freestyle rap between her and Davy Deeks, who plays Sebastian. It doesn't sound too bad. I've heard the song. It doesn't sound that bad, honestly.
I'll be honest. I had no interest in seeing the Little Mermaid movie. I'm assuming this what happens when you have little girls. Is you have.
No, we haven't seen the Little Mermaid movie. I just know of it because I don't know. I look into all this stuff.
But
I gotta be on the pulse of pop culture. I am not. I am not messing with you. There's a song in there called "The Scuttlebutt," and it's her. It's pretty much the song of her like horribly misunderstanding human things.
Oh, God, that just sounds awful. I gotta tell you that.
You're gonna play it and you're gonna be like, new ringtone.
No, please God, don't.
So anyway, Shang-Chi.
Cool vibe first act. Then we get into the main. Then we get into like the main story thing where it's like, oh, we're trying. My dad's after me because I got a magical necklace, a magical MacGuffin. So we go do a little world trotting. Again, I will say this: the first action sequence on the bus, well done, very well done. I'm not sure. Again, I didn't look up who the stunt coordinator was, but you know what? They did a very good job with that. So you got your act two where it's like just I don't know I'll be honest, stuff happens. I've only seen this movie once, so I'm recalling a lot of it from memory. And then act three, we got a big CGI fight.
Right.
It's
your standard Marvel origin movie.
Yeah.
The villain's probably like a bad version of the hero, because of course it is.
Pretty much. I mean,
it's
I know Marvel.
Dad's like the man.
I know Marvel and DC have been stealing from each other for years in a weird symbiotic relationship. I mean, the Ten Rings is basically a knockoff version of the League of Shadows or League of Assassins from DC. For fuck's sake, his dad's it is got a weird tonal thing because like he's like, I'm trying to get away from my dad and his business, which is like, oh, okay, like a gangster thing. Okay, that's pretty cool. Gangster kung fu. No. My dad's not only a like a Hong Kong action crime guy, he's also an immortal warlord from like thousands of years in the past. It's weird. It's very weird. It's like, again, I get you're trying to mix you're trying to mix the wire like the wire stunt action scenes of like a Crouching
Like
Tiger,
it,
Hidden Dragon.
yeah. Ang Lee
But
movie.
Yang, Jesus, why can I not remember that? I think I'm
Because you hate Asian people.
probably. Um,
You're like,
I
all Asians
also
look the same to me. So, I mean, I can't believe you're sexist and racist. Gee
yeah,
whiz.
we're about to be canceled.
You are, not me. I'm not saying this stuff.
You know what? My Elon Musk is going to help me out on this one. All right. I'm going to pray to the Rogan, the Musk, and the Holy Take. But
Again,
anywho,
you're saying these things, not me.
but the main thing I was trying to get at is there's definitely a clash between you got your high fantasy Asian martial arts movie and then a more grounded kind of father son story. Eventually they end up in some basically Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon land where like there's all these CGI creatures and then they fight, there's a big CGI fight with two dragons and it's just a bunch of nonsense on the screen. Ben Kingsley shows up as the Mandarin from Iron Man 3 because the real Mandarin apparently captured him and just had him doing Shakespeare for the last 5 years or something like that.
Is that what I was curious. I don't care that you spoiled that, but I was curious like how they were going to be bringing him back. Like, what's it? Trevor, right? What's his name?
Trevor Slattery. Yeah. Technically, Nick, this canon was established in the Marvel one-off short "Hail to the King," which was released as a DVD feature on.
Yes, I know. They quickly made it because people were pissed about the Iron Man thing, so they had to like course correct as quickly as possible. Although I like that reveal of Trevor. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
In that movie, I don't care.
Yeah, and then I mean I still enjoyed Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. Like I said, I thought Simu Liu. I feel like I'm mispronouncing that. I thought he was a great lead. I think he had a lot of good charisma. Carry it. I mean, Aquafina is Aquafina. I mean, you're pretty much just gonna get that raspy, just like voice. Again, I don't hate women. It just coincides.
I don't hate women, just most. Just as long as they're in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, and not in my action movies for boys, then we won't have a problem here.
Look, no comment. Please, God, no comment, and don't post this on Twitter.
I'm sorry these movies are too woke for you, cuz.
I guess. I mean, I went broke for different reasons, but I can assure this audience that it was not for going woke. It's because
Well, speaking about broke and woke and going broke or whatever, this movie had a budget of what I could find somewhere between 150 and 200 million, and it netted a profit, or at the box office was, and this is international, $432.2 million. Not great, but again, it was released in September 2021 when we were having a spike in COVID cases, so people were not going out. So we have to really take that into account. Rotten Tomatoes score 91%, audience score 89, and the internet seems to like this one.
I enjoyed it too. It does have. Do you mind another spoiler from the movie? It's for a post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, I saw it where he meets the other Avengers or something.
Yeah, he meets the other Avengers. They kind of they're setting up, I guess, whatever this multiverse saga thing is. But it does have, again, it's Shang-Chi, Aquafina, and then Wong. And Wong's like, you better be ready because the journey of being a superhero is going to be hard and arduous. He's like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Or, and then just smash cut to them being drunk at a karaoke bar singing Hotel California. I was like, great. I loved it. That's all post credit scenes need to be. Just a fun little
Yeah.
cherry on top. Doesn't need to be the setup for 20 movies down the line.
Yes, it does. How am I supposed to know I'm supposed to watch things?
And again, and going back to things that make Charles laugh, extraordinary characters talking about ordinary things, and also just characters being drunk. I don't know why. It tickles my funny bone. It ignites the warmth in my heart.
Well, we'll come back to Wong later on
Yeah.
in regards to this stuff, what you're talking here. But let's move on to the next one here. This one came out on November 21, Eternals. I haven't seen this one because it's like 95 hours long. And I'm like, oh, God. But did not do great critically. The critics didn't like this one. 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. So people saying that Disney buys off critics, where were they this time?
Not around. The check bounced.
But interestingly enough, it has a 77% on the audience score.
Yeah.
But people seem to not like this one a lot. Had a budget of $236 million, box office of 402. So it probably really lost money. Again, this was still during COVID times.
Is that box office international? Just like curiosity.
International, yeah, not
It's
domestic.
still kind of on par with Shang-Chi, though.
True,
200
but Shang-Chi had it was anywhere between 80 to $36 million cheaper.
Fair enough.
And Shang-Chi also came off when there was a specific spike in one of them.
Cases. Okay.
Yeah, Omicron or what? I don't know. I can't.
I think
Datacron or Alpha Centauri.
You had it right the first time. Omicron.
Okay. I can't keep track of them. But I'm trying to remember if anything else was out during November 2021 that would have eaten into this. But I feel like there was like a general blah leading up to this movie to begin with. And I know there was a lot of people complaining about the inclusion of a gay character and the fact that it was a female-led for the most part, and the fact that it was a female director. Now, I don't know if that had a play in anything. If it did, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember people being, this is like really when I started seeing some cracks form with people and the internet being like, oh, Marvel is done with.
I will also step in because this one I also saw on streaming after post release. So you said the audience score is about 77%.
Yeah, which surprised me because like if you go anywhere on the internet and say Eternals, you get boo, throw this man out of here.
If you're put on a school scale, a 77 is what, a C? Like a
C plus.
That's perfectly what I describe this movie. How I would describe the movie is that I appreciate it for what it was trying to do, more so than what it actually did, if that makes any sense. Because it definitely was not. It definitely had it's definitely very. It feels like they went with like a first draft, or they didn't have a full idea of what kind of story they were telling. But I appreciate that they went so that they're doing something so oddball. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, drunk on their own power. They're like, we're going to, Kevin Feige sitting at the bar or sitting at the after party for Endgame going, we're going to make an Eternals movie. He's pouring himself another shot of whiskey. I'm like, I don't think most hardcore comic book nerds or basic comic book people knew who the Eternals were.
It's definitely a deep cut.
It's somehow more of a deep cut than the Inhumans before Marvel started pushing them because they weren't sure if they could get the rights to the X-Men.
Yeah, I don't know. And the Eternals is much more of a fantasy, not a fantasy, but fantasy-ish. It's weird how they're going to include them in the overall scheme of things, which we'll touch on a bit later. But yeah, so I don't know. So there's Eternals. Now,
yes. Good. No, you go ahead.
I was going to move on to the next one, but
I guess the only thing I'll say, yeah, or yeah, let's move on to the next one because
okay.
yeah, it was okay. Could have wish they did more with it.
So the next one,
Weirdest post credit scene of all. So Shang-Chi had my funniest. This one had the weirdest.
what was it? I don't care if I'm spoiled.
Oh, so Kit Harington
Oh
the black
yes,
is the Black Knight, and then he like randomly just pulls out the ebony blade, and then there's a voiceover of Mahershala Ali basically doing the Nick Fury thing of like, "Are you sure you want to do that, Mr. Dane?" I'm like, okay, so one, I don't think Mahershala Ali's voiceover was meant to be there. They decided to add that in just to spice things up because I don't know much about the comics. Does Black Knight and Blade interact at all?
I have no idea. Maybe
There we
I don't
go.
know.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe I don't
It,
know. They
he's not
can.
even there. Yeah, he's not even there on camera. They probably just went up to Mahershala in like the hallway and said, "Hey, just say something really fast. Say something ominous."
That might be because like that Blade movie is like 20 years away, and supposedly
Possibly
Kit
canceled.
Harington. Yep. Supposedly Kit Harington is like, as far as I know, I'm not in the Blade movie, so like I don't know. I got a feeling that the Eternals is like there won't be a direct Eternals sequel, but they'll incorporate those characters into other properties to continue on where their storyline is going. I don't know.
I could see that because they. Also, yeah, Harry Styles is a Star Fox.
That's right. Thanos' strangely attractive brother.
Yeah, half brother. So, but yeah,
So,
that's the last thing did want to say about the Eternals is on the post credit scene side.
okay, next one we start moving into movies that are actually making money because we're going out of what do you call it? COVID
Mid-tier.
times. Yeah, and we're also getting into more member berry sort of things, which we had Spider-Man member berry the movie, No Way Home, which I also have not seen, but 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, audience score 98%, budget of 200 million, box office worldwide 1.9 billion dollars.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
So like if Marvel was worried about these other movies not making money, yeah, I think they're okay.
They're fine. We can make another 5 Eternals with the money we made off of that one Spider-Man.
Right? So this movie was loved. People would go back to it. Um, there were spikes in COVID cases, and there's an SNL bit where Biden was addressing the nation, telling people stop seeing Spider-Man, and COVID will go down.
I agree. This one, unlike the past 2 movies, I actually saw in theaters. And as a true nerd, several Halloweens ago, I made myself a Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider hoodie, and I wore that to the theater. As I
Yeah,
sat there,
you wear that like every night, and you go like pew 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 pew.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to, but unfortunately, while the hoodie's in perfect condition, I've accumulated mass, thus not allowing me to wear the hoodie at all times.
You could be like a Peter B. Parker in Spider Verse.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. 100%. No Way Home is absolutely a member berry pie, but I do not care because it is delicious. It is.
I do want to see it because I'm a big Toby fan, and I've liked the other Spider-Man movies. Of course, that will never come to Disney Plus. Thanks a lot, Sony. But I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Spider-Man sells. He's like the Marvel equivalent of Batman. If all these other Marvel movies failed, Marvel will start again with Spider-Man in another year, a new iteration of Spider-Man because he sells. Even the bad ones have done well. So yeah, no
I've heard,
surprise there.
I don't keep up with the comics, but the internet has kept me up to date what's happening in the comics, and man, he is getting. Let's just say this: have you heard what's happening to Spider-Man in the comics?
I'm not sure what specifically you're referring to. I know that like uh spoilers for the comics, he inadvertently got Miss Marvel killed.
Yeah, well, there's
And
that.
like Mary Jane has powers because she was trapped in another dimension with another guy, and she has kids with him or something.
Yeah,
And
he's again, and like the internet is turning on the writers of Spider-Man to say, like, man, you guys are cuckolding Spider-Man. I'm like, oh my god, people, get a life.
he's because Spider-Man's always. Let's face it, Spider-Man's always been cuckold. That's Spider-Man. That's kind of his thing. Let's just be honest with
He's
ourselves here.
he sold his
He's
marriage off so that way he could get his 80-year-old aunt back. All
yeah.
right.
That's really Spider-Man makes really bad decisions all the time. Like.
To quote into the Spider Verse, never invest into a spider themed restaurant. uh,
Um,
but
so
anywho,
yeah, so that movie, everyone seemed to like. People still seem to like. Um, it had the worst kept secret in the world with all this other Spider-Man appearing. I don't know why they kept it secret. If they were open up about it, I think that'd get still people into the seats. But whatever.
I was so I went on a Friday night thinking, oh my god, I'm going to get that audience reaction. Turns out I've been out of the loop for a while. Turns out you don't actually go opening night is not Friday, it's Thursday,
Oh,
afternoon Thursday. So I missed all the ooh and all the audience going nuts. My theater was fucking dead silent, and I was so mad. I was like, I came here specifically to hear nerds go, "Oh my god, there's Andrew!"
I've never been in a theater where I've seen like the YouTube videos where people like just like shout. You can't understand what the fuck's going on. I've never been in a theater like where that's happened. And the closest thing to a movie where that would have happened had I been in it would have been I went to a midnight showing of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. So back in 2005. People cheered at the beginning with the star when the movie started. I think one or two people clapped when Yoda did something, and then after the movie ended, people clapped, and that was it. Like that was it. Like like the funny thing is, I guarantee you, all those people that would have been like knew it was coming anyway. So it's like it's not like it's a surprise. I don't know.
I still enjoyed it. I will not to get too far into a side. I will say the only time that's ever happened is when I saw the Jordan Peele movie Us, where it's like, and like that movie, that was a full packed house, and man, that was like chef's kiss in terms of just like if you want to go to a movie theater and just have people just fucking clapping like seals. That's what I want. I'll be honest, sometimes that's the only purpose to go to a movie theater. It's like,
Yeah.
look, I can either wait 6 months more for this to show up on Disney Plus, so I can see this in my home, nice and quiet, or I go to a theater because I want to hear some people fucking clapping like seals. All right?
I take it back. When I went to go see the 2018 Halloween movie,
Mhm.
I went there on opening night with the Gorehound, and people did get into the movie. Like, have you seen the 2018 Halloween?
I have not. I have not yet. I've heard
Okay.
it's supposed to be good. The other two are,
Well, that's another discussion for another day.
yeah.
But
Well,
the I the end of the movie is what you would expect from a Halloween movie. I don't think this is a big spoiler, but Michael Myers is, it's very like cat and mouse. Michael Myers trying to
right.
find them, and people were getting into it. They were like, "Fuck yeah!" Like when like the scares or the twists happen and various things, and that sort of thing is fun. Like that's because
Mhm.
I'll agree. Like, the people clapping like seals, that can be fun because everyone's getting into the movie. What I hate is Tobey Maguire shows up and people shout for the next 10 minutes and you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Fair enough. Fair
Like
enough.
Like, settle down. You're not an animal. Like, you could be like, yeah. Okay. Now let's watch the movie.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree at that point. But yeah, I would say, shall we move? Shall we move on?
Yes, let's move on. Next up was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Rotten Tomatoes score 74%, audience score 85%. People seem to love or hate this movie. Like, I don't know. It had a budget of somewhere between 172 to 200 million dollars, and it made 955.8 million dollars at the box office. Why the fuck is a Doctor Strange movie making that much money? I know why. I know why. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you my theory.
Oh, shall we wait, or should I just ask? I want the theory. Give me the theory. Give me the theory.
I'm telling you it anyway. They just got off of Spider-Man, and they had the multiverse characters, the other Spider-Man, and there were rumors that there were going to be all of these cameos. Marvel went back to reshoot the movie to add all of these cameos, and people were probably like ready to shit themselves, like what cameo is going to be there. And
oh yeah.
I didn't see Doctor Strange 2, but I have seen the scenes on YouTube. And it was like 5 minutes of a couple of random characters, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they all get nerfed like immediately.
They'll get horribly killed by well, not even an evil Scarlet Witch, the mainline MCU Scarlet Witch, who went from, I guess we'll get into WandaVision a little bit and how that ended. Basically, if you go from WandaVision to this, it's like, what the fuck happened? Because the character does a 180. But yeah, I will say this is probably the last movie where they had the last Marvel movie that I can remember where they had a cameo in it or something showed up where I was like genuinely like happy to, not surprised, but happy to see it. I shouldn't say surprised because fucking YouTube ruined it for me. It was fucking jump, and I'll tell you what it is. I mean, I'm assuming people listening to this have seen these movies, but it was John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. I'm like, the internet's been clamoring for that for years. Just like they clamored for Benedict Cumberbatch to be Doctor Strange because everyone was into fucking Sherlock. So it was like I appreciated that. I was like, okay, this is a good. I like this. He's only in it for like 2 scenes, and then he gets horribly murdered. Again, I know this is Doctor Strange 2 is a very much an Ant-Man situation.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, hey, we took a director with a vision and we decided to boot him off, and we got some stooge to show up for us. The difference being the stooge we got to show up was fucking Sam Raimi. So which is both bizarre and great because they let him do his Sam Raimi-isms. I mean, it's definitely like they're like Sam, do your thing, just do your thing, do all your crazy weird shots, have fun. Horribly murder the MCU's version of the Illuminati, which is technically another Earth's version of the Illuminati, but who cares? Patrick Stewart, you had a great swan song performance in Logan. Fuck that. Here's a paycheck. Show up in the yellow wheelchair.
I will say this: when I saw the clips online, my mouth dropped that of all the people to bring back, they brought back Anson Mount as
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. I'm like, holy fuck! And that movie came out like the same week that Strange New Worlds premiere. I'm like, man, Anson Mount's having a good week.
I guess we could go into a little. I guess I don't know if we want to touch upon this later on, but I do want to say I did find out. So apparently, his Black Bolt costume entirely CGI, like not a real practical thing, which does bring into a bigger conversation. Which brings to the bigger conversation of Marvel CGI, yay or nay, because it seems to go all over the place.
I think, and in the next movie we'll talk about that because they had to fix some CGI in Thor: Love and Thunder. Even the director was like, "Man, that looks really bad, doesn't it?"
Yeah. Even on the home release, it still don't look great. Don't look great.
I've been hearing that like Marvel's been overworking their CGI folks to the point that like everything's suffering. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they just have much stuff in the pipeline. And I don't know if this is I don't know when these things are all gotten approved. Like what was in the pipeline, what was actually pushed into making it. But like I know Bob Chapek got blamed for a lot of things that went wrong because Chapek came in charge in what 2000? I'm sorry, 2020.
I think so, yeah.
And then he was just ousted earlier this year. Like how much of this was already in the pipeline when Bob Iger was approving everything, and how much of this was under Chapek's regime about like with all the shows? Like, did they already have all this stuff planned out under Iger? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like Iger Chapek got like the blame for it because it was released under his watch, and yeah.
Well, and kind of to add to that conversation, I recently watched Volume 3, and like some of the CGI in that, especially on a character like Rocket Raccoon, looks fucking incredible because you have to have an emotive. Again, that story is very emotional, and they made me believe that a raccoon could cry. So, like, they had.
And then counterpoint, MODOK.
Yeah, just again, who is in charge of what? Is it like a Call of Duty thing where we got two different developers going at the same time?
The only thing I could think of is if they have various projects and they prioritize others. Because I remember there was a lot of people complaining about the CGI in Black Panther. But compare that to the CGI in Infinity War / Endgame, night and day different. I think it's just Endgame and Infinity War were higher up on the priority scale than Black Panther was. Because there were like some scenes in Black Panther that were like, is this a video game cutscene or is this a major motion picture?
Yeah. Well, and that could apply to when we get to the shows, because that definitely again but I want to kind of save that because I got some thoughts.
So Thor: Love and Thunder, people hate this one on the internet, and I did see this one. I liked it well enough. I think it was kind of over the top with the goofiness, but you know it's fine. 63% Rotten Tomato score, 77% audience score. So we kind of got an Eternals thing going on here.
Yeah.
250 million, brought in 760 million at the box office.
So it's still making money?
It is, but not the greatest return. Like you have to think that generally for a movie to break even, it needs to make 3 times its budget, roughly.
Yeah, because you're counting for the production, the advertising, and then because that's
so like. I mean, it probably just broke even. I don't know how much profit Marvel got off of it, which is weird to think because, like, you know, I don't know. These movies cost so much, and they seem to make much, but you know, how much are they making? I don't know. But still, it brought in money. It wasn't the failure that people think it was. I don't think. Probably could have done better, but I don't know.
The biggest thing I'll take away from Thor: Love and Thunder is what I like to call the Jennifer Lawrence syndrome. Everybody was fucking loving Taika. They loved Ragnarok. They loved Jojo Rabbit. They loved, What We Do in the Shadows. This movie comes out, everybody's calling this guy a fucking hack, that he's bad, that he's ruining all this. I'm like, dude, he made a mid-tier Marvel movie. He overplayed some elements. It's the same shit he had in Ragnarok. It just, something wasn't there. Again, this is like a second draft or a first draft of the script. Something's not there shaking it all out to balance it. Like, I'll agree with that, but I'm like, y'all are turning vicious. Like, the guy made a movie, and suddenly now you're discrediting his entire line of work because he made a movie that wasn't up to your ungodly expectations. That's something that I think needs to be addressed by the
people
fandom.
are so damn fickle. Like jumping ahead here, when Ant-Man 3 came out and people were like, Marvel's done. It's done. It's not happening anymore. It's done. I'm like, one, what the fuck are you talking about? And two, the minute Guardians came out, Marvel's saved. Kevin
Yep.
Feige's a genius. It's like, whoa. 2 weeks ago, you were saying how Marvel is digging its own grave. Now it's the greatest thing ever. It doesn't work like that. Like,
Yeah.
after like what 30, 40 films, not all of them are going to be winners. Remember Iron Man 2, everyone? Remember the
Mhm.
Incredible Hulk? Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World, as
Thor: The
discussed
Dark
on this
World.
very podcast.
It's true.
Um,
But yeah, so
and I
God.
will say this: even Marvel's like, I mean, I always maintain that I'd rather have a movie that's like interesting and bad, versus just like boring and bad. Like most of these movies are they're just average. There's nothing really that wrong with them. Like, yeah, could they've cut back on the jokes? Sure. But I'm like, it's fine. It's Love and Thunder definitely had a lot of wasted potential, especially when it's like, a lot of people are going into the villains department and they're like, oh, these villains are so generic. And now we're getting some more like, not I don't want to say bigger time, but more villains that have some notoriety of like, oh, causing some damage in the comics, like Gore the God Butcher, as played by Christian fucking Bale, and then it's just like, what a waste. You got
Well,
Christian fucking Bale, and the scenes he's in where he's really chewing the scenery are fucking gold, like, but then
it
they just don't stick him in a good story.
that movie, I like Love and Thunder well enough. I'm not going to go on my way to see it again anytime soon, but uh, it just seemed like uh, Christian Bale his character wandered in from a completely different movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know, maybe the Thor movies are like the reverse of the Star Trek movies. The odd ones are good and the even ones are bad or something. Um, yeah, and like Jane's cancer plot, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, Again, this is another movie which the internet frustrates me. I think these same folks are the ones saying that Marvel's doomed, it's over. That now we have girl Thor. Thor is still the main character, but they're pulling from a story from the comics, and girl Thor, spoilers, dies at the end.
Yeah.
Whereas like normal Thor, regular guy Thor is still around. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want, people?
Well, the other thing I will say, and I'm glad you brought up, Jane Foster's Thor, or Mighty Thor, as you've been dubbed. I'm not going to see. I'm trying to change my ways. I'm not going to just say Lady Thor, Nick. But like everyone who's like talking about all this stuff, I'm like, Marvel was workshopping this shit. Like I remember when I was in college, like my sophomore and junior year, I remember all the stories that we're seeing now in the MCU. Marvel was workshopping this. Sam Wilson is Captain America. Jane Foster is Thor. I remember Iron Man went evil because there was the Axis event, but that was a completely different thing. But anyhow, a lot of these big ideas that we're now seeing in the movies, like these were workshopped in the comics, like about, again, 10 years ago,
Right.
and they're just like testing the waters, like, will people like this? And now they're making it live action. It's like, it's kind of weird because it's like, oh, we're bringing a character to life. It's like, well, this is a character you only made about 10 years ago.
I
It doesn't really
know.
have the same impact as like somebody as a character that existed for like, how old is Superman? How old is Batman?
Yeah.
It's
I
gotta not the
I
same pizzazz.
I agree. Like one of my problems with the Captain America movies is that it focused on the storylines
From the most
from
recent.
the mid 2000s. No, mid late 2000s. Like was it 2005 when he died, or no, 2006, 2007, The Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge Cap fan. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if you could see
I see him I see him in the
behind me,
background.
but like I have like all these are like Captain America comics, like from like the epic collection as they call it, from like back in like from the 60s to like the mid 90s when the line sort of ends. But like there are so many stories to pull from Captain America to turn into a movie, or mix and matching things and everything. And I know Bucky's a good character and it's an interesting storyline to do, but it's like this is, I mean, like of all the things to pull from, that's what you're gonna do. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very much just like not ignoring the legacy, but just well, no, it is. It's ignoring the legacy of some of these characters and just going like, what sold well in the most recent memory, and we'll just adapt that. That's pretty
And
much what the philosophy is.
and that could very well be, and I get it because they want, like, look at the Flash movie that's coming out. That's heavily inspired by Flashpoint, a story that came out what 10, 12 years ago, so not
Yeah.
that old, and it's been adapted in the comics, adapted as a direct to DVD animated movie,
Very
adapted into
good.
the Flash TV series.
Not very good.
Um, like and various aspects. Like I think they adapted into the Flash TV series almost like two times. Like they took two different takes with it.
Yeah,
Um,
because there was a time. Because yeah, I think in like what season 4 or the beginning of it was like one. It was whenever Wally West was the Flash.
yeah, that was season 3 when that one premiered. And they did something else, a take on it. But I don't remember when. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't know. Like these characters have like, well, they and I can't. I mean, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking, so what do I know? But yeah.
We
Anyway,
we have a 3-part series about how we will save the DC universe, Nick. So I think we know
I
what we're
know,
talking about.
I know, right? And you know
Um,
what's eerie? Like the more and more I hear of what, and this is totally egocentric, so I apologize. The more and more I hear of what James Gunn is trying to do, the more I'm thinking like, did he fucking listen to our podcast and like take our ideas? Because like, damn, a lot of it sounds similar of what like we were kicking around. Um, but anyway, let's move on to the final movie of the phase for Black Panther.
did not
Wakanda
see.
Forever. I didn't see it either. Um,
Uh,
84% Rotten Tomatoes, 94% audience score. 200 to 250 million to make, which I get. Underwater movies cost a lot. Made 859.2 million dollars, which I would have expected Black Panther to do more. It came out November 22, so I don't know if
Black History Month.
no, not even close.
I was going to see how long it was going to take for you to say
Like
something.
I didn't know if you're like I paused like I didn't know if you were doing a gag or if you're like serious, but the first Black Panther came out in
I think it was in February.
yeah, but they saw it had legs. And I don't know if they had legs because it was build up to Infinity War, or or if it just because like the first one made like $1 billion or something like that, right?
Yeah. It's a fucking
Um,
good it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
um, it's I'm surprised the second one didn't do better. I don't know if the loss of Channing, I was gonna say Channing Tatum.
Yikes. Internet, we apologize.
Oh, that's rich. Um, no, the loss of Chadwick Boseman. They should have recast Black Panther T'Challa as Channing Tatum. Let's see how that
Yikes.
goes over.
The White
Magic,
Panther.
Magic Mike meets Black Panther. But the loss of
Chadwick
Chadwick
Boseman.
Boseman. I don't know if that had a hit with it. I don't know if people were turned off by Leetta Wright, who apparently said some very
Oh
controversial
yeah.
things. And I don't know if people were just turned off. You know, racist got to be racist. If anything, that played a factor as well. People, I don't know. I think people love or hate this one based on internet. But
Yeah, I agree, and I think it doesn't help having just kind of a couple of mid-tier Marvel movies with Multiverse of Madness and Love and Thunder,
Hmm.
where like leading up to it, it's like it's kind of hard to get excited when it's like, okay, it's gonna be another CGI fest where there's gonna be a bunch of dicey. Well, again, Thor: Love and Thunder had that infamous, what was it, Heimdall's son, where it's like this very like
This
you and I
awkward head.
you and I could probably do a better effect with Adobe. But so it's like I think a lot of people were like, are there going to be there's going to be a lot of the same old tired jokes? Are there, it's not going to tell a serious story. I think people want more. I think when people say darker, I think that what they're trying to say is they want something that's more mature, something that takes, events can be silly. Like the events of the Guardians movies are very silly, but they take them very seriously.
Hmm.
For example, and I think that's what people want to see more is just like, if the characters take this seriously instead of going, what's all this wacky nonsense?
Hmm.
It kind of takes you out. It worked when Joss Whedon was in his prime before he got canceled, but again, not everyone. It can't be pulled off all the time. You got to do it in doses.
Right. Right. But yeah. So Black Panther. I want to talk briefly about the films, and then I want to kind of go more quickly through the shows, I think. But
Okay.
what's interesting about the Marvel phases is, and I don't know, maybe I'm jumping ahead. Maybe we should, I'm gonna put a pin in that conversation. Let's just move on to the shows, because I think
Let's get the
my
shows covered.
yeah. So first off, WandaVision. Obviously, I don't have a budget or box office on this one because it's a streaming service.
Yes.
So I don't know. Streaming services don't release that sort of information. So I don't know money-wise how it did, how many people downloaded or watched it. But I have reviews.
Okay, good.
91% liked, critical reviews, 91%. Audience, 88%. And people seem to really, really be into this one. Like, I remember week after week, people were like, every article on Yahoo was WandaVision, 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 WandaVision. I did not see WandaVision.
Did we not discuss it on the podcast?
You did. I wasn't a part of that episode.
Okay. I like my quick review of it was love the first couple episodes of it. I thought it was really kind of selling this weird premise of like, hey, we're doing because the first two episodes are genuine sitcom. Once they start reintroducing the real world into all of it, it kind of goes a little bit downhill and kind of stays as welcome for too long.
Mm-hmm.
And they waste the multiverse potential by turning it into a boner joke.
That was an interesting addition, and I think it played with a lot of fans' expectations, because by that point, people were always starting to figure they're doing more multiverse stuff, aren't they? And adding the Foxmen into it, potentially into it, yeah.
I fortunately was not spoiled on Evan Peters' Quicksilver showing up. So when he did, I actually was very surprised. Like, oh my God. But as I've described later on, where it's like, Spider-Man Far From Home, teasing the multiverse, psych. WandaVision, teasing the multiverse, psych. And now.
Yeah. Far From Home, yeah. They did tease the multiverse. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because Jake Gyllenhaal's like, oh, I'm from another Earth. And he's like, no, I'm just a pissed off Stark employee. It's just like, I mean, did we need to include the multiverse angle? Could you have just been a pissed off Stark employee? But I guess it's more fantastic. Whatever. That's a different conversation. Anywho, but yeah, so WandaVision I loved initially, and then once it kind of everything said and done, it kind of became a little cringe, especially what is it? Monica Rambeau's like, they'll never know what you sacrificed. Lady, she just enslaved an entire town, including Kitty from that 70s show. Like, I don't think I get it, she was hurting, but my God, she is a monster.
But
and again, going back to Multiverse of Madness, the Wanda we see at the end of WandaVision, again, I guess she's going into the Devil Book, the Darkhold, but like, you feel like at the end of that she's like regretful of her actions a little bit, or a little ashamed. And then in Multiverse of Madness, I'm just full on evil now. I'm going to summon a giant monster, capture America Chavez.
There had to be some thing that was edited out that would have bridged that otherwise, but yeah, that's a weird like neck pivot,
Yeah, it
but
definitely is.
but WandaVision, I think people seem to still like that one. I don't think people have gone back on it too much. I don't know.
I mean, I've not rewatched it since most of these
I
Disney
just
Plus
I
shows.
just mean like internet reaction. Like if you go
Yeah,
to
I think
average
the
message
internet's kind of
board,
forgotten about that it even existed.
I think a lot of they forgot a lot of these shows.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I did watch this one.
Hmm?
84% Rotten Tomato, 82% audience score. That seems about right.
Yeah.
It was fine. Kind of wandered on a little too long with certain aspects. Um, I think people on the internet like this one. Like, I think they still think fondly back on it.
I'm in the camp of I liked it. I thought it was a solid, I thought it was a solid show. It was like, okay, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It's a, Captain America legacy show. I enjoyed it. I liked I liked Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson. I liked Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes. I liked Johnny Walker as as played by Kurt Russell's son. I can't remember his name, but he's very good in it.
Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell, of course, it's Wyatt.
Uh,
But no, I enjoyed that show. I really liked. I know a lot of people giving shit to Sam Wilson's speech at the end, where it's like you got to do better. I'm like, I personally didn't take offense. I personally didn't take offense to it. I get why some people might, but I'm like, it makes sense. I don't think they were trying to, it made sense to me at the time.
the funny thing is that Sam Wilson, yeah, it's preachy, but have these people ever opened up a Captain America comic book?
Yeah.
A Cap original flavor does that all the time. That like him not doing it in the movies is like a glaring omission. Like maybe it's something that works in one medium and not another, but like Cap giving a holier than thou speech is that's Captain America.
Yeah, because he stands for an ideal, not as America as it is now, but America as it should be. The only other thing I will say positive is it gave us the Zemo dancing GIF,
Yeah,
which I think is fucking great, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about, but
it has.
internet
People
look that
have
up.
forgotten.
And Sharon Carter apparently is now she's evil now.
Yeah, I didn't like that change.
Yeah, she went bad. She broke bad after the blip.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of these things, these are like one-offs, and they haven't had payoffs yet. I think people are becoming too impatient wanting their payoffs, but I do feel that I didn't like that just because, as a Captain America fan, Sharon Carter is like his biggest ally, friend / girlfriend, depending on who's writing it. That would be like Lois Lane suddenly saying, "I have Kryptonite Superman, and I'm going to sell it to make money." No, Lois Lane's not a villain. She would not do that. That's weird.
Maybe she's pissed about him banging her aunt in the past.
But yeah, it's just it was a weird decision made, but whatever. Let's move on. Loki, 92% Rotten Tomato score, 90% audience score. I watched this one. I liked it, but it was not the show I was expecting it to be. And that one's more on me. The previews made it seem like it was going to be more of a, not a comedy, but more humor in it. And it was not that at all. It had its jokes, but it was way more serious than I was expecting it to be.
See, I had a completely different thing. My impression, or the way that they were selling the show to me, or to my perspective, was they were selling this as like, oh, we get to see Loki messing around in history. Like,
yes.
And then it's like, no, the show actually it seemed to change up his premise several times. So episode one is like, okay, Loki's not really that bad a guy. He didn't like killing people. I'm like, all right. Then episode 2 is like a buddy cop comedy with like Owen Wilson.
Like it's
Episode
going to
three,
be like each week they got get another villain or something like that.
right? They're trying to solve another case. And then we got episode 3. He's teaming up with the fucking weirdest plot development in a Marvel movie where he falls in love with a female version of himself.
You know, to me, that's totally that feels very Loki. He can
Yeah,
only love himself.
I mean, fair enough, but still, seeing it play out like without nobody commenting how fucking weird it is. I mean, that's something else. I think that was episode 3. Then we got then there was like him with all the other Lokis, where we have
Oh yeah.
classic comics Loki played by that one actor that pops up in things. It's like really good. I don't know what his name is, but you know what I'm talking about.
David Harbour.
No, not David Harbour. Not David Harbour this time. Um, and then finally we have the Loki tease that's supposed to be a setup for the whole multiverse saga / Quantum Mania, where Jonathan Major. Apparently, I read somewhere that was Jonathan Major's performance in Loki alongside the early dailies from Quantum Mania that made Marvel go, we got to build this whole multiverse saga around this guy.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was probably already planned out at that point that they're doing Kang and the Multiverse Saga. So when they hired Jonathan Majors, I'm sure they were like, "Listen, here's the story. You're going to be playing multiple versions of this character and blah 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 blah." So, and Jonathan Majors is a good actor. Let's not, let's not deny that. But despite his personal life.
Unfortunately, he's not in Scientology, so he's not getting the protection.
I know.
Oh my god! Like
that's going to be interesting.
It's a reverse Ezra Miller, where like he has a crime and he's actually facing consequences for it. What a concept.
Well, we'll see if that happens. But yeah, I mean, Loki, like at the end of the day, I felt that one, it was all like, this is just setup. Have fun. But it is interesting that it does link this new multiverse crisis to the previous storyline, because it was the Avengers dicking around in the past that caused that Loki to escape. And yeah. So.
And it's the only show that is confirmed to get a season 2, which I feel like a lot of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier easily could have a season 2. Hell, that could be the whole. I know they're making another Captain America movie. It's like, just make that another season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'd be fine with that.
No, and I'll explain why later on. But let's move on to the next one. Speaking of multiverse, this is when we got our animated series, What If?
God.
94% Rotten Tomatoes, 93% audience. And people seem to like this one when it was out. I don't know if people still talk about it. It's definitely the redhead step. Yeah, the black sheep, because it doesn't really affect any of the continuity as of yet. But it's just kind of showing what's going on with the multiverse being shattered and all the different craziness things that are happening there.
I've only seen. How much of this show have you seen?
I've seen all of it. Well,
you've seen all of it.
The 6, 7 episodes? How many episodes they have?
I watched fully I'll be honest. I watched fully the first 2 episodes and then the Marvel Zombies episode. I learned a couple. Again, everything you do in life should be a teaching experience. The first thing I learned is there's a difference between a voice actor, and a live performance and like a stage actor. And this show showed it off spectacularly, because oh my god, like Sebastian Stan reading in the several episodes he was Bucky Barnes is so fucking wooded and so fucking like, compared to how he is in the movies, it's like night and day. It's like so bad, the line reading. I don't
remember it being that bad, but you might very well be right. It's been 2 years since that show came out, so I don't remember.
There was a scene where I think there was like a scene where this is the Marvel Zombies episode where like Okoye slices up a zombified Sam Wilson, and then Bucky's like, she's like, I sorry, I think that was your friend. He's like, I shouldn't feel bad. I always should feel bad, but I don't. I'm like, good God, that was the best take you guys could get. And like, so a lot of that factors into it, where it's like, I know some actors can also be voice actors, but there's definitely a difference in the art. Let's just put it that way.
What was interesting with the What If is that each episode introduced another sort of like alternate path, and then it built up to a crossover with all the other ones that we've met already, and because like the Watcher brings all the different, like Captain Carter and Party Thor and
yeah,
all of them together to fight an if Ultron if Ultron won, and so they do that, and so like that was neat. I wasn't expecting them to do a cross. I thought it was just gonna be like a bunch of one-offs,
like anthology. Yeah,
yeah, and they actually did a cross. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I approve. It was fun. I mean, they're supposed to make a second season sometime. I don't know. I guess people it must have got enough clicks for people to them to make it more of it.
It's wild, and I did enjoy it, but it definitely was something that was the animation style was weird because it was like you had these 3D models and you got like a lot of 2D effects. I don't know. I get it. It's a look. I'm not the biggest fan of like of 3D animation sometimes. I think, especially on a television budget, because I think it could sometimes, if it's not done stylized enough, it can look really fucking weird and empty.
It seemed like they're trying to do a riff off the Spider-Verse look, but not exactly.
Not quite.
100%. Yeah.
I will say the other thing I think we should mention is just the last vocal performance of Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa.
Supposedly not. I thought I read somewhere that they have something from season 2 that he recorded already, but I don't know. Either way, it's one of his last performances.
It's pretty neat, kind of neat. Like it's like, oh, I did like him as a Star-Lord. Like, man, this guy's neat.
Yeah,
I like some of the neat ideas they came up with. Like, so I'll give it.
That was fun, where like he turned Thanos from a genocidal monster into like a nice guy.
Yeah, just a nice guy. He's just like joking about the fact that he had this great plan. I mean, I know some people were criticizing. We're like, you know what? I'm fine with that. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. If Chadwick Boseman came up to me, I can feel like he could solve all the issues. He can figure out all the space drama.
That was pretty good. So now after these, I feel this is where the Marvel shows kind of took a dip, in the sense that people seem to start turning against them. And I don't know if this is because they were just pumping them out too much, but they didn't necessarily get the same fanfare the way the earlier ones did. First up, we have Hawkeye.
Shit.
I haven't seen it. 92%
Rotten
Tomatoes, 89% audience, which I was surprised to see that, because I thought people didn't seem to really like that one. And it's weird that Hawkeye got a show instead of a movie.
Yes.
Because he's the only original Avenger who's not gotten his own solo movie. But
this is another one of those shows like WandaVision where I love the concept. I was like, okay, it's based on a comic book that I've heard good things about, but I haven't had the chance to read on. I love the premise of like, hey, this is a story set around Christmas, and he's got, and he's got to solve this adventure around the holidays. I'm like, there's a time crunch there. There's a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, it's introducing a new character that a lot of people are really receptive to, like Kate the Bishop. And it was the only show that I could think that the only thing that Black Widow that I was like, oh, okay, I gotta look forward to this, to something else, because it teased that whole series in that movie's post credit scene. But man, this movie, good lord, Hawkeye could not get me, even with all the. I think because the biggest problem that Hawkeye had and some of the other Disney Plus shows had is they were like teasing the secret villain, like who's
Right.
really behind all this, who's the mastermind, and this is kind of I think the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, why couldn't you have just said it was Kingpin from the beginning? I get it, you're a TV show, you want to keep people tuning in each week, but it's like, just say it's the fucking Kingpin. Just say it's Kingpin, and we'll be all fine.
Or reveal it in the first episode.
Yes, just reveal in the first episode instead of teasing us until like the second to last. And it's like, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'd be more excited if like, I knew the Kingpin was behind this the whole time instead of just like this.
Because here's the problem with that
Yeah.
doing that is that there's still a question on whether or not the Netflix shows are part of MCU canon proper. Like that still seems to be a big question mark in people's minds, and Marvel's not doing any favors by answering it.
No.
So on one hand, it's cool they got Vincent D'Onofrio back to do the role. I'm sure people are happy about that. On the other hand, it may not be the same character that he's playing.
Yeah, because that Kingpin was kind of a psychopath. Like, I'm sorry, the MCU is kind of bright and cheery. The King, like that Kingpin was like ready to fucking like go nuts in a second. Like Kingpin in the comics, I always felt like was supposed to be cool and collected. Like I'm in control of the situation because I know all the information. Like Vincent D'Onofrio in the Daredevil show was always just like one bad second away from just like fucking going nuts.
So like it's like, are you excited or are you excited for the wrong reason? Like when not Quicksilver showed up in WandaVision.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't him, and you felt cheated. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's although this Kingpin apparently got an upgrade because I mean he fucking ripped a car door off. I liked the dynamic between Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh. I just like saying her last name like that. I mean that was pretty fun. I will say this: the only positive I will give to Hawkeye is probably in its first episode. It has the best sequence of sequence describing of how Hawkeye feels without him having to say words. Where it's him in this theater watching this shitty Hamilton knockoff of like the Avengers movie,
Right.
and he's fucking turning off his hearing aid, which I love that. Yeah, I got hearing damage from all the fucking explosions that happened around me over my career as an Avenger. So I did like that bit. So
So I heard about the hearing thing. A question about that. I'm sorry. I heard about the hearing thing, but I didn't know if that was like a retcon that suddenly he was deaf the entire time, or if they, or so you're saying it's because
in the show wait, did you see it or not see it?
I've not seen it.
Oh, okay. I apparently from this comic run, Hawkeye. I don't know much, but in the show itself, they make it seem like he has hearing aids from all the shit he did as an Avenger. Like they have a montage of all the explosions that he was involved with that just fucked up his hearing. But it has okay. Then I'll explain the sequence really fast before we move on. So he's with his kids in New York watching this Hamilton knockoff of the first Avengers movie, and it's just like it's trivialized. It's like trivializing and like kind of like reducing all the shit he went through in his life. Like this is like all his story was. The shit, it's called Rogers the musical. It's set up. It looks like, and then like so he's in there just like, so this is my legacy, and then he goes to take a piss in the bathroom, and on the bathroom stall, it has graffiti saying Thanos was right. So it's like, so yeah. So here's the two extremes of my legacy. I'm either cheapened into some commercial product or my actions didn't matter at all. I got people saying that the bad guy that I fought against was right. And I thought that was the smartest thing the show did. After that, it was all dog shit, in my opinion.
Well, let's move on then.
Okay.
Next one this one came and went. Moon Knight. 86%, 86% critical, 89% audience score.
I like Moon Knight.
I feel like everyone I've talked to, or everyone I've seen, like people online, they have not liked it. So I don't know.
I enjoyed it, but I will say this. I think in hindsight, I think they put a little too much humor where there didn't need to be humor. And I think the most interesting part of the show, they say, again, kind of like how I was saying, a lot of Disney Plus shows had a secret villain.
Mm-hmm.
This one, their most interesting part was revealed like in the last two episodes, where it's like, again, the character
Mephisto was behind it.
Well, no, it's like the character's schizophrenic, and then they introduce this idea of, oh, is he actually experiencing these adventures, or is he just an insane person in a mental hospital? I'm like, if you did that shit from the beginning, instead it's like this happens after our character gets shot on screen, and you're immediately going, well, this is clearly a dream sequence. But if they had played that up more from the beginning, that this guy is just crazy and just thinks he's a superhero and he's doing all this stuff, again, the blurring of the lines and all that stuff could have been very well done, because you have you have Ethan Hawke, you have Oscar Isaac as your villain and your hero. Again, you have a unique character with a very unique like backstory mythology behind him, and I enjoyed it, but I will say like it could have been better in hindsight. Like after watching everything, it could have been better. There were a lot of jokes where there didn't need to be jokes. I know a lot of people were pissed off because they, again, I guess Moon Knight's supposed to have multiple personalities, including the character of Mr. Knight, but they just treated it as the suit version of Stephen Grant, who's like basically Oscar Isaac's piss poor version of a British accent, which it makes sense in the story. It does make sense in the story. I will give it that, but before you know that, you just think like, man, he is not good at a British accent. But this is where like, oh, this is a TV show you have to watch to understand the full story. So I like Moon Knight. I enjoyed it. I hope they get a season. I hope Moon Knight gets season 2, because I feel like they can do some really interesting things with that.
When people put on British accents, one time I'd love it to be where someone just does like, where it's supposed to be like a proper British accent, like I'm James Bond or something, and it's more cockney, like, "Hey there, governor."
It's not that bad, but it's not great. Let's just say it's not great, but it makes sense in the stories. I would say to you, if you get a chance, watch Moon Knight. It's good.
I can assure you I will not, but I appreciate the.
Well, this will bring us into our next two episodes, our next two shows.
Although I guess I could, now that the writer strike's going on, like I'll have things to catch up on, right?
All the time in the world.
Yeah. Next one, Miss Marvel.
Did not see.
I didn't see this either. I wanted to, but again, it's one of those like, oh, that looks fun, and then completely forgot about it. 98% critical score, 80% audience score, and I feel the internet hates this show.
That's very surprising that Rotten Tomatoes is giving it that high, because I agree for the audience score. Because I agree with you. Everyone was like hating on this. I do hate that I get why they changed your powers, because I know in the comics it's like it's basically like it's
Fantastic.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, that's going to look bad on a television budget, so we're just going to give her discount Green Lantern powers, which is fine.
But, question for you: are these television budgets, or are they mini movie budgets?
I don't know, because do you have any figures of what the budgets were for some of these shows?
No, I'm sure if I had more time, I could dig and find out, but I have no idea.
Like, I will say this: like rewatching, like when I watched the Netflix shows, I could tell that was a television budget, because like the one of the Marvel Netflix shows I watched, surprisingly, the only one I actually finished, start to finish, was Luke Cage. And I swear to God, they used that same nightclub set like for like every other scene, and it's supposed to be like this big impressive club, but you're in it so many times, you're like, you get a sense of how small it is. It's like, okay, I understand the space. It's not that it's not that big. It's not that impressive.
They slightly redress it. It's like completely different place. Okay, we need a scene here where Luke is in his apartment and he's talking to someone. Oh, just use the nightclub scene. But then
Yeah,
it's his apartment. No, we'll put some drapes. Completely different.
it's fine. It's fine. No one will know. Haven't you
We'll
ever heard of
close in
movie
on the
magic?
shots. Yeah.
But yeah. So because the budgets for these shows, they must be nuts. Like, because they're only like, again, I think WandaVision and She-Hulk are the only ones that topped out at like 9 episodes in their production. The rest of them are about
And
like
what if did
6.
too?
What if had more, but that's animated and that gets a little bit more leeway.
Animated doesn't count.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not
Sorry.
real TV.
Sorry, internet. But yeah, for the rest of them, yeah, the budgets for these are like, I'm sure someone could probably take someone who has more time and patience could edit these into like full feature length 3-hour movies.
You know, I've often wondered that because someone edited down the Obi-Wan show
Mhm.
into like 2.5 hours or something, and I've heard people like, "This is great."
Yeah.
I do wonder, like things like Falcon Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, could that be edited down into a conceivable 3-act structure of a movie?
Oh, I'm sure. Because it's otherwise it's just. I think the problem is because I think a lot of them script wise are done as basically a giant movie.
Mm-hmm.
They end up just feeling meandering, and it's like nothing is learned.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated Loki because at least Loki changed up what our premise was for each episode. Where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to escape a exploding planet. We gotta track down this other Loki. There was at least some angle to each episode where it felt unique.
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
but yeah, Miss Marvel, um, didn't watch. I feel like I should eventually, but I know the lead actress is apparently a huge Marvel fan, as she stuck it up to The one story I heard about her is she stuck it up to Kevin Feige, as she said, "Oh yeah, the MCU is Universe 10009 or something like that, whatever the official title is." And then Kevin Feige's like, "It's 616," and she's like, "It fucking ain't 616." So I appreciate that the lead actress is a huge dork. So
Yeah. Yeah, because
I,
in the comics, they 616 is the Marvel mainline comic
yeah,
universe, but the MCU they gave it another one in the comics, and they're trying really hard to use that 616 in the MCU, and
yeah. I hope just someone just goes, just stop, guys. Like, let the comics be 616. Let the MCU be its whatever designation that it's
and
supposed to be.
you know what? The nerds, the Marvel nerds, will be like, that makes sense. Yay!
Yeah,
The
again,
average
seal
yeah.
clap.
The average movie person isn't going to give a shit or know.
Yeah,
Because didn't
that's
616 first come up in Far From Home, where the not multiverse Jake Gyllenhaal was like, this is Earth 616.
no. Actually, in Thor: The Dark World, where Steven Sarsgaard is like going nuts in that mental hospital, on the chalkboard he writes 616. And at the time, everyone assumed, oh, he just knows about what the mainline Marvel universe is. But now that's what this universe is supposed to be named as. But that's what it.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's actually the first time 616 is mentioned in
But
the MCU.
okay,
Suck it.
well, one, that wasn't my question, but but didn't Jake Gyllenhaal say that they were on
I
Earth 616,
I think so. Yeah.
which
Just
which would be like, I'm just picking a number off of a hat, but it's assuming he did say that, it would be weird if that charlatan happened to pick out the right number.
yeah, and also it's the same designation that another version of Christine Adams from the the universe where they have the pizza balls, also decided to call our universe the MCU 616.
Hmm.
Man, Eric Andre should have gotten royalty for Multiverse of Madness.
Did he come up with it?
Well, yeah, it's time to deliver a pizza ball. That's an Eric Andre show reference.
Oh, I haven't watched the Eric Andre show, though I am aware of it.
Oh.
Let's move on to the best Marvel series. It's the last main series, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I watched this one.
I've seen clips of this show.
Now, here's an interesting thing. 80% critical score, which I think is about right. 32% audience score.
Which is about right.
This show was definitely review bombed. The show is, I liked it. It was clearly a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the goal. And if you read any She-Hulk comics, the show was very much in line with the She-Hulk comics. She-Hulk is a very goofy character. She's much more comical. She breaks the fourth wall all the time, kind of like Deadpool, but not really.
Mm-hmm. Deadpool before Deadpool.
Yeah. I think she knows at times that she might be a comic book character. She talks to the reader. So like, and this show kind of does all that. And the last episode of this show is off the wall bonkers. Like she out of the Disney Plus screen and like scrolls down to like the like one of the making of documentaries and like busts into that to try to find Kevin because she didn't like the way her episode was panning out for a final episode, and she ends up meeting a giant robot head that is it's Kevin, and it's the head is it doesn't talk. Does it talk?
It does talk, but it's got like the Zachary Quinto voice.
Okay.
I saw the clip online. I looked up the clip online because I was curious.
And like even like it's arranged where like you see like Feige's like trademark cap, like that's inserted into the design. It's bonkers. It's off the wall, and I appreciate it for doing something just crazy for the sake of being crazy. The show does touch upon the idea of toxic masculinity and the Andrew Tate style dude bros.
Yes.
Which I guarantee you, those are the people that review bombed. If you think that who you are is being depicted as a villain in the show, then you're probably and you get angry about it, then you're probably that.
Well, from the clips I've seen of She-Hulk, again, I'm not. It's weird because I saw a lot of stuff from the show via clips of like the one thing that which again, that's why I don't want to give like a full review because I'm like I only saw clips. I only saw like without context, so I won't say fully what my thoughts are because I don't really have them. The one thing I was surprised about is I'm surprised She-Hulk wasn't 10 steps ahead because she had fucking Prometheus on her team from the Arrowverse.
Yeah, right.
And which is weird seeing him in a comic role because, again, I only remember him as from the best season of Arrow, season 5.
What's interesting about that is he like his character is so different. He's not a goof, but he's more, I don't know.
Is the term himbo applicable here?
No, because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But he's much more. He's obviously on Arrow. He's like super intense. Like this guy's much more lighthearted and fun. Like there's one episode where he and one of their coworkers he's trying to track down. He collects like shoes, like gym shoes, and he's trying to collect down what he calls the Iron Man 3s, where it's like a new shoe based on Iron Man. And they have to go to like this like warehouse to get out. It was silly. It was fun. I mean, the thing is, She-Hulk is just genuinely fun, and it's entertaining in that way. It's obviously not going to be for everyone, but it did not deserve the hate that it got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eventually, I feel like by law of averages, I will get around to sitting down on my couch, no phone in my hand, and just watch the show uninterrupted and see what I actually think about it. But all I have is the internet impressions go off of.
Like, people complain that in the first episode, like, She-Hulk, and it's played for laughs, so I don't know why people get so, like, bent out of shape over it, where She-Hulk is able to master her Hulk powers considerably easier and quicker than Bruce Banner Hulk was able to. And it's clearly explained in the movie that, one, how she got her powers was a different way, so it's impacting her blood differently, the way it would have impacted Bruce. And also it explains that she deals with so much bullshit on a daily basis. And she's talking about her personal experience, not like women in general, that like she has to curb her anger and deal with it and every day, because if she did lash out at it, she would be villainized. So she has to suck up when men treat her like shit, between just man in the street, her job, potential dates, all of that, which comes into play later on. There's a payoff to that later on in the series, where she's humiliated by like these dude bros at some public event that she and other people were getting an award for, and she kind of snaps because she just couldn't control her anger, and she's like completely villainized at that point. So like, it's called setup and payoff, people.
Are you saying that the internet took something maybe slightly out of context and blew it up to accurate proportions to support an agenda?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, is that what you got from what I was saying? The fuck are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I just want to talk about the people who shoot lasers out of their ass.
Ass Laser, Marvel Studios presents.
That'll probably be in the next Guardians movie. Ass Laser. I don't know. Maybe that'll be the next Zack Snyder film after he goes nuts on Netflix.
Sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. Hashtag.
I feel like Netflix should be able to afford the rights to like some sort of like obscure comic book company.
And they do have the rights to the Miller World.
Yeah.
Mark Millar's comic book, and every one of their productions so far has failed miserably.
Get Zachy S involved. Could you imagine a Miller? Because I know they did the Jupiter Ascending, but could you imagine a Zack Snyder production on the level of like Army of the Dead, but with one of those story properties? It'd be fucking nuts.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to now that we have two specials.
Specials.
Werewolf by Night. I did watch this one. I know you watched this one. You were like, it's the best thing ever, and you're texting me. You were texting me daily, like hourly. Nick, you gotta watch it. Nick, you gotta watch it. Like, I'm about ready to go to bed. I'm about ready to doze off, and my phone goes off. I'm like, you gotta watch it. I posted a new video. Watch. I think you should leave reference. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
It's Frankenstein's wife.
Frankenstein's chick.
What the fuck video am I gonna do? I'm out of ideas.
It sucks. But unlike Frankenstein's wife or Frankenstein's side chick.
90% Rotten Tomatoes score, critical, 89% audience. You love this one. I liked it well enough. It was interesting. I wasn't sure where it was going to go or what was happening. Man-Thing was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, look.
That's what she said.
Uh,
Oh.
well, I liked it because again, it was going full on to the okay. This is our weird concept, and we're going full on into it. And you know what we're doing? Everything we can. It's like we're gonna make this like a 30s Universal monster movie. And I'm like, you know what? They did everything they set out to accomplish. And it has my favorite type of humor of just extraordinary people talk about ordinary things. As you have Jack Russell and Man Thing just talking about afterwards. They're like, what do you want to do after this? Do you want to go to sushi? I'm like, that's great. That's all I needed. Elsa Bloodstone's there. I like the evil stepmother. I liked how the dad's like this. We get like this automaton to like dictate out his will.
Right.
That's great.
I feel it got. I wish it fully committed to the 1930s properties. Like, I wish it was like a full throwback instead of it just being black and white. Like in terms of like styles and designs. I know they did that a little bit. Like when he was like turned into the werewolf, you kind of saw the shadow and all of that.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it got too. This is gonna sound weird. Too Marvel as the end went on. Like too gory and bloody.
Oh, I
Which
appreciate that.
I wish it was done in the style of like the Universal Monster.
Yeah, where there's
Movies.
someone who goes like, ah.
Yeah,
Someone,
like I feel like they wanted to do it, but they didn't like fully want to commit to it.
I kind of see what you're saying because yeah, a lot of those movies weren't like gore fest. They're just
Right.
you goes as they're getting as the
Yeah,
monsters
or
go
like
down.
the violence was like off screen, like letting the
Yeah,
imagination happen to it. But I don't know. It was neat they kept the bloodstone red the entire
yeah.
time. That was the only color. I don't know why it suddenly shifted into color at the end of the movie and played Over the Rainbow.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's not. I'm going to write Kevin Feige and be like, I don't like what you did. Is your Over the Rainbow thing an agenda?
Ah.
I see what you're doing there, Feige. Hashtag fire Feige. Just saying.
I'm sorry, that's actually really fucking good. Yeah, I really like this one. It was top, probably my favorite thing of Phase 4 because it fully committed to what it was set out to do. And also, I didn't realize there was a character in Marvel called Jack Russell. He turned into a werewolf. That's great.
Now let's move on to the final thing of Phase 3. What phase is it? Phase 4?
Phase 4.
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which might have been my favorite thing of the MCU this phase. 93% Rotten Tomatoes critic, 80% audience score. I liked it. It was fun. I still don't understand why why Chris Pratt doesn't go to Earth more often to connect with his family. I haven't seen Guardians 3 yet, so maybe they established that in there.
Yeah, it'll make more sense after you see Guardians 3.
But I liked it. The Kevin Bacon thing was hilarious. This is not a Christmas gift. This is human trafficking. I thought that was pretty funny. It does seem like people have forgotten about the blip. Like that should have been more of a traumatizing scenario. I read an article recently about how like if the MCU was the real world, people would be a fucking wreck because there's traumatic event after traumatic event. Like, you remember how bad people were after 9/11, even the ones that weren't directly impacted by it? Think if 9/11 was like every other month. That's the MCU.
Well, if you want to look how bad 9/11 was, Marvel released a reaction comment where 9/11 was so bad it made Doctor Doom cry.
I may actually own that comic.
Holy shit! Really? That's something where it's like, don't you routinely like kill people and like try to take over the world, and 9/11 makes you cry? I'm sorry, like Spider-Man should cry because like that's New York's his territory, but why is fucking Doctor Doom getting
Dr. Doom should be like,
Bravo.
clap. Well played, my well played.
Well played, Al. Would you like to join the Masters of Evil?
Listen, I just want to control the world. I don't want to take down. Oh, I know. He's upset because all his finances were tied up at the Twin Towers.
Oh my God, my
That's why he's
stocks,
upset.
my stocks. Let
No,
various
I believe they're called stocks.
let various GDPs go through the shitter now. Oh yeah, Guardians holiday special. I remember when it was announced. I liked the again. Again, this is my seal clapping moment. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're clearly aping on the Star Wars holiday special.
Right.
You know, which you both can and cannot find. Where it's like, if you want to go through, like, try to go to your local, I don't know, any sort of like second-rate bookstore where they have DVDs, you won't be able to find a Star Wars holiday special. But
It's on
just type
YouTube.
on YouTube. It's right. There's like a million versions of it. So I at least appreciate the naming. I like that it's Mantis and Drax just going to LA. That's fun.
Like, we need to get money, and they're taking pictures with people.
Yeah, Mantis gets so excited to see someone on Hollywood Boulevard, like dressed as Captain America. It's like, Steve! The kidnapping of Kevin Bacon's both hilarious and horrifying at the same time.
I like he's running, and you see Drax and Mantis like just leaping
Yeah,
like alongside him.
yeah, it's great. They spend all their money at a gay bar. It's fun. It's awesome. Although I will say, I know they tease like, oh, the holiday special will be an important plot point for Volume 3, and you said you saw it, right?
What, Guardians 3?
The holiday special.
I did see the holiday special. Yeah, Mantis is what's his name, sister.
Peter Quill's half sister.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's fine. That's cute.
Yeah.
It is brought up in. I will say it's brought up in 3, but it's just like, even if you didn't see it, it's like
They explain it.
They explain it well enough where it's like you're not going to be. You may go what at first, but then you're like, okay, I get it. Even if you didn't have that, it's like it still works with the character.
Did in Guardians 3, without spoiling anything, because I do want to see that one when it hits the plus. Did they explain how they just magically own the giant head of nowhere?
No,
because like that was just sort of like, we own nowhere. I'm like, when did that happen?
Sometime after they dropped off Thor, and because when we meet Star-Lord in Volume 3, there's definitely a difference between the last time we saw him in Love and Thunder and the holiday special. So, but it's not too terrible, but it's like very much like, oh shit, when did that occur? But no spoilers. We're spoiler free on this show. But technically, the holiday special is the official ending of Phase 4. That's what Marvel is capping off with, not with Avengers movie, but with a Christmas special.
Well, and Phase 2, if you recall, ended off with Ant-Man, and Phase 3 ended with Spider-Man. Though Phase 4 should have started Spider-Man, but that's neither here nor there. What's weird about this phase, this is what I want to talk about earlier, but I want to go here, is each of the other phases kind of, they didn't build to it per se, but there was like a capstone event.
Yes.
Like Avengers 2 technically, and then of course Endgame. This didn't have anything. It's just, here's a collection of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but like when you're used to a formula, you kind of expect something to end up, some sort of wrapping thing, like why this makes it the end of the phase.
Yeah.
Like I could see, like, say Loki was a movie, and what happens in that movie, and that's the end of the phase. Okay, I get that.
That actually would make sense, because that's setting up that, oh, Kang is coming, and he's probably going to win.
Yeah. Or I haven't seen it, but I know what happens in it. Ant-Man 3, that could have been the end of the phase, because they really started setting up Kang.
Yeah.
That would all make sense. But like it isn't, and this is a problem not for me, but I think problem that people are having, and it's a dumb problem that they're wanting their payoffs now.
Yes.
I think Marvel is throwing a lot at you. They're introducing a lot of things, like Shang-Chi, huge success. People liked it, did well. No sequel announced.
No.
His character has disappeared.
Yes.
Like the ending thing where he somehow meets up with the Avengers, no follow up. Oh, I forgot to tell you something about She-Hulk really quick. If you like Wong doing Wong things, it sounds like it should be awful, but they make it work. And again, it's a comedy, so it's a little more ridiculous. Wong strikes up an unlikely friendship with this like ridiculous party girl called Madison, and they end up like binge watching TV shows together. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And so if you like superheroes or talking about normal shit, but it's ridiculous,
okay.
that might scratch your itch.
And then yeah, it's just because I hate women. Then so there's no other excuse. No, I'm kidding, internet. I'm kidding. That's a joke. This thing we used to do called humor.
But yeah. So anyway, so going back to what I was saying, I think they're just trying to do too much, introduce so many things that all these things kind of get lost in the shuffle. That if there's going to be payoffs later on, like Marvel's been pretty good about it. I would trust them enough that this will get paid off in one way, shape, or form.
Mm.
I mean, Marvel is still going back. Like the next Captain America movie is being callbacks to the Incredible Hulk in 2008.
Yeah.
Like they could have and should have completely forgotten about that, but they're not. They're bringing it back. So people need to be a little patient. They're trying to expand their world. That said, they need to stop with the shows. It's too much. Or like not every character needs a 6-episode miniseries.
No, and the problem is they end up feeling. You're absolutely right. A lot of their miniseries feel like this could just been a movie, but just like the Obi-Wan show, this could just been a movie cut down to a 2-hour or 2-hour experience. Like it doesn't. Not everybody needs a 6-hour adventure of just like self-discovery and stuff, unless you're going to make it interesting or like worthwhile of being a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I liked WandaVision, because each episode, the first 2 episodes were purely sitcom plots, but they introduced like, oh, something's not right, and it's like
Right.
that worked. But for a television format, but yeah, it definitely it's a lot to take in, and I think just audience, it's audience fatigue is what it is, because
Yes,
people are raving over. People didn't care about Quantumania because it wasn't really doing anything different than any of the other movies. But then people love Guardians 3 because Guardians 3 does. Hey, it's a. This isn't a spoiler. It's a character-driven story. It's got a lot. We are spending time with these characters. We're not going through some complicated plot of like, we gotta do this, we gotta stop this. It's just like, hey, we're putting our characters in a scenario so that way they can go through their own personal journeys. Everybody's got an arc. Everybody, learns something at the end of this, and they have fun thing, and they do fun things in between. And people, guess what? People like that.
Yeah.
They like They like a movie where it's like, hey, I like to see these characters. I like to remember what these characters do, instead of just we're putting them in we're making them say funny things in like these weird scenarios.
Yeah.
There's an art to it.
I mean, I think like all these shows, it feels like homework.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I get they want Marvel stuff on their Disney Plus. That's fine. Do the specials. The Werewolf by Night, the Guardians thing. that was cool. Use that as a way to introduce some new characters if you want to use them down the line. Like Hawkeye, Moon Knight, like could that have been a special? Maybe.
Or just made for Disney Plus movie. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all they needed to be.
like it's too much to ask. I mean,
It's a 6 week. For a lot of those shows, because I watched a lot of them as they came out. It was like a 6 week involvement.
mhm.
You had 6 weeks. You had to make sure you're tuning in because you wanted to make sure you weren't getting FOMO. You want to make sure you're keeping track of this.
Yep.
It's like and that's why I loved Werewolf. If Werewolf by Night was a 6 episode show, I'd be like, I don't know if that story would have been sufficient enough for 6 episodes.
Right.
But like but as just a one off little thing, it introduced its characters well enough where it's like, you know what? I get what everybody's about. You understand it, and it's fine. But the rest of them is just like you're dragging it on. What's the mystery? Who's the big bad? It's like sometimes simplicity is better. Bringing on a mystery of like who's behind the the flag smashers. We don't need to know that. We don't or who's the it ends up being just Sharon Carter. Oh, the one shady character that we've seen so far in this entire show had some involvement. No shit. It's like quit setting up a mystery. Not everything needs to be a mystery. Just say who the bad guy is, say what the problem is, and let's solve it.
Like I don't know if it was under Bob Iger or Bob Chapek who had all these shows go forward. I don't. There are some interviews I've read that imply that Kevin Feige didn't like that they were having to do so many shows because it was making things costs and everything run thin.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some implication that they were going to pump the brakes on the shows they were coming out with. Although if you look at Phase 5, there's like 7 shows that are already prepped and ready to go. From Secret Invasion, Secret Invasion, Loki 2, Echo, which apparently is a show that they want to bury.
They're dumping it all in one day.
Yeah.
That's not. Hawkeye didn't even get dumped in one day. It got.
I heard they've been trying to re-edit it, and it's just like, ugh. And I wonder if that's like I wonder if like a show like Echo and Agatha are being pumped out because they were popular characters or they liked what they saw on the other show, and the Chapek regime's like, make these into shows now.
They're winning.
Well, I guess technically, yeah.
I guess technically.
I didn't think of that. What if season 2, Ironheart, Agatha, and Daredevil? And Daredevil's getting 18 episodes.
How the fuck is that going to work? When it's either going to get its budget cut significantly, or we're going to be in the same goddamn office the whole time.
Maybe it's like 6 episodes. Maybe it's like a total order of 18, but they're only doing like
6 at a time.
6 at a time. I don't know.
I could see that, but like, yeah, they're comparatively, it's like, okay, how many did What If have?
What If had 9.
Okay.
The only other thing I can think of is maybe Daredevil is a sign of how they're going to do their shows. Like, listen, we're done making shows, and so we're just focusing on one big one right now, and a couple of specials here and there.
Honestly, yeah, because the 2 specials they have were probably more effective than having a whole TV show. It's like you got the movie quality, but it's like you don't have to spend 2 hours. It's like, okay, this is a simple little side story that can be accomplished in like less than an hour and a half. That's all they need to be.
Right. Like they're doing Secret Invasion, which
should have been an Avengers movie.
Seems like it should have been an Avengers movie, but I'm glad that Nick Fury's getting his own like spotlight. Again, why couldn't that be Nick Fury Secret Invasion?
Yeah, on the big screen.
Make that into a movie. I don't know. I haven't, it's not out yet, so who knows how it'll turn out, but 6 episode series. Loki season 2 with quite possibly the last appearance of Jonathan Majors as Kang.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. So
There's gonna be a new variant. It's gonna be Michael B. Jordan. I'm
they
Kank,
can't.
y'all.
Michael B. Jordan was Black Panther bad guy.
I know I know he was, but he was also in Creed 3. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, I know that. But fucking Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland could all technically be Peter Parker. I think we could put someone else there as Kang the Conqueror, and it'd be fine. They did that with Rhodey.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I like the line in Iron Man 2 that is very meta, where he goes at the very his first
Yeah,
scene with him. He's like, "Listen, it's me. I'm here now. Let's just deal with it and move on."
yeah, it's perfect. It's like, okay, we could get Terrence Howard to come back for this.
They did switch one of the shows like into supposedly a movie, although it's not scheduled anywhere. Um the Rhodey movie.
Oh, Armor Wars.
Armor Wars.
Yeah.
Supposedly that was supposed to be a show. Now it's going to be a film. Although
Okay
there's
then.
been no official announcement beyond that they moved it, but
Yeah, which I guess, but it's like, then it brings up the question, like, did we want to see a movie about Armor Wars without Robert Downey Jr. in it?
maybe not. But I think Don Cheadle's a big enough draw.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, both versions, I could see it working both as a show as well as a movie. But at the same time, since the shows are just long movies,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like how everybody described the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, like, oh, they're just 10-hour movies.
I they're doing an Ironheart show.
How's that going to work with Armor Wars?
Yeah, I do wonder. Because I guess Ironheart was in actually what do you call it?
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
But
and a Target commercial.
Was she in a Target commercial?
Yeah, they did a whole Target commercial of her in it.
I did not know that. I mean, I don't know the storyline for Armor War. Oh wait, I guess she will appear in Armor Wars, but like I almost wonder, could her storyline to introduce her been combined with Armor Wars? Like I don't know what the show is going to be about, but I don't know.
As a sweaty neck beard, I couldn't even tell you.
I mean, obviously too early to tell, but it just seems like do we need all of these? Do all of these shows necessary to introduce these characters in this way? I don't know.
Probably not. Because like the strategy of the Disney Plus shows were like, we want to have them coming out where it's like there's always going to be a show for you to watch. You may have to wait a month or two, but then there's going to be another show for you to watch.
Right.
That's how it was. WandaVision at the start of like 20. What was it? 21? 22?
Yeah, 21. It was here. Let me pull it up here. WandaVision, January 15th, 21 to March 5th. And then March 19th to April 23rd was Falcon Winter Soldier. Loki was June 9th to July 14th. So that you had to wait through May. And then What If was August 11th to October. Hawkeye, November to December. And then there wasn't anything till Moon Knight till March 30th to May 4th. And then a month later was Miss Marvel to July 13th, and then a month later started She-Hulk. So there's like a month break in between each of the shows.
Yeah, but still, it was still just like they wanted to make sure they had something new coming out, which right. I appreciate that. But then it's like if the quality ain't there, like who gives a shit?
Yeah, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. My big question is all of these new storylines, they're so spread out, and that's fine. But if they do want to do this big Secret Wars for the end of Phase 6, which do you think the multiverse saga is happening like that? Like we know too much about it already?
I think so. I think the biggest difference between the first couple phases of Marvel, I remember when again, I think it was right after Iron Man and Incredible Hulk came out. I remember you and I were going to the movies. I was just a young lad at the time, and you were like saying, "Yeah, I heard some chatter and some internet. I heard the chatter on the internet. They're going to have a Captain America movie and a Thor movie. It's all going to lead to an Avengers." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's going to sound awesome." But it's like all rumor and stuff like that. Now it's like, okay, you know everything of how it's going to happen. You know how it's made. It's like, where's the surprise?
Right.
Where's
Like they
the like? How can I get excited? It's like I know what's going to be happening for the next 4 years.
yeah, like they didn't announce uh Infinity War until right before Avengers 2 came out.
Yeah,
Which I thought was weird. Why didn't you wait until after Avengers 2 to announce it? But whatever. Like Phase 4 wasn't even done. It was barely going, barely started um in summer 21 when they announced um Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
yeah, and they're like Fantastic Four's coming, and like all they're like they
Well,
already teased
yeah,
5 and 6, and like
you could tease Fantastic Four because they knew we all know that's coming. Um, but like it's weird that they wanted to blow their big end game already, and if that is the end game, like how are all these things going to tie together? Because the upcoming movies in Phase 5 that they've announced so far, Ant-Man Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the Marvels, so that'll bring Miss Marvel into the fray.
yeah,
Um, Captain America, Thunderbolts, Blade. Again, like where's Shang-Chi? How are the internals coming in on this? Like, um, what about Namor from Black Panther? Like, how is this all going to get worked together? I know they're bringing characters in, like I guess John Walker's going to be in Thunderbolts, and
yeah.
a couple of the characters from WandaVision and Miss Marvel are going to be in the Marvels, and who knows what Blade is going to happen. I mean, Blade right now is a blank piece of paper, literally and figuratively.
No, it's a crumpled up piece of paper tossed against the wall because they keep trying to start over.
Right. But like where like and there's no like culminating event for phase 2 at the moment. I mean, they need to start like, and I don't want to sound like impatient, but like I'm sure they have a plan, but it's weird. I bet you at this upcoming Comic-Con in what was that, about a month from now?
Yeah,
Um,
probably a month. It's just like July. I think it's like July.
they'll have some big announcements because like even like phase 5, which or phase 6, there's only 4 movies so far, and 2 of them are the Avengers sequels, and
Yeah,
Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, and Avengers. um I bet we'll get info on Shang-Chi and
yeah.
maybe another Doctor Strange or something. I don't know.
Well, they teased something's happened with Doctor Strange. Charlize Theron showed up at the end of that one.
Oh yes, with his third eye, which was also awful CGI.
Off again. We had to cut corners somewhere. Do
Listen,
you
we
know how
cut out a piece
expensive?
of paper of an eye from a magazine. Just tape it on his head. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post. We're going to fix
For
it in
God's
post.
sakes, Twilight Zone did a third eye effect, and it was more convincing than that.
So, like, I'm curious to see where all things are going. So,
I mean,
um,
it'd be cool if like again it culminates in like a Secret Wars type event, but it's like, I mean, does that lose its luster? And
do,
also that, and then the other thing I'll say, going back to what we were talking about earlier, there's now 2 Secret Wars we could talk, or there's multiple Secret Wars. Are we talking about the original event where it's like heroes versus villains, or are we talking about the one where Doctor Doom became God and like had a, you know,
I
the
I bet you it's more that one because of all
yes.
the multiverse stuff.
I bet you. I have a feeling you're probably right. Instead of Doctor Doom, it would be Kang, and you're gonna have all these different. You're gonna have this battle world. Again, Marvel Workshop this shit years ago. Y'all weren't. No one was paying attention to the comic books. I would not be. Would you be surprised if that's what ends up happening?
No, I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be a dumb heroes versus villains and Spider-Man gets his black suit. That's not going to happen. Of course, everyone knows Spider-Man's going to get his black suit from the little bit of venom that Tom Hardy left in the
Yeah.
in the MCU.
Yeah, that where he's drunk at a bar trying to figure all this shit out. I've not seen the Venom movies, but I've heard they're kind of like wonderfully trashy.
I've seen the first one.
I've watched Morbius now multiple times. Does that
Yes, we did a podcast on Morbius.
Yes, we did. So does Morbius prepare me at all for any of the Venom movies or no?
I've only seen the first Venom movie. Listen, the first Venom movie at least is a fine, decent enough movie as if it came out in 2005.
Okay.
Like, it really feels like this was sitting on a shelf in 2005 and they just threw it in the theaters because it has that vibe to it.
They went to the shelf, blew the dust off and everything. Like, here's our script.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. So,
would you rather watch Venom or Thor: Love and Thunder?
Depends on the mood because they're two totally different things. In Thor: Love and Thunder, does Thor jump into a lobster tank to cool down in the middle of a restaurant? I think not. Venom does that.
That sounds amazing. That sounds incredible. I recently watched RRR, and I
hear that's pretty great.
Yeah, it is. But I will say this: we could get more creative with superhero movies. So I'm for lobster tank jumping or throwing leopards at other men.
Hey, maybe that'll happen.
The Kraven the Hunter
movie.
Oh God, yeah, that's coming. That's supposed to be down in the pipes too. Good Lord. I did see this one meme. This is gonna be a side tangent, mainly because I'm getting loopy. But it was like Sony creating animated Spider-Man movies. It's like Patrick with like a microscope, being very scientific, and then Sony creating live action movies. It's Patrick with a fucking board in his head. It's like, yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
But I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Here's my final thoughts on Phase 4. People are saying Phase 4 was a disaster. That was the worst thing ever Marvel's done for. I don't think it was a disaster. Review-wise, it's gotten good reviews. Money-wise, the films have been successful. COVID made it take a hit, so it's skewing some of the results. But I think Marvel is going to be just fine. I'm sure they'll see what worked and what didn't work and will course correct as we go forward. But I don't think the MCU is DOA.
I will say we're seeing more of what I think with Phase 4. We see more of how the sausage is made. We see more of the effects of like having this sort of like factory style of like, okay, we're gonna start making the effects. We're gonna start the effects down, and then you just build a story around that.
They've been doing that that's how Endgame was made.
I know, but now it's feeling very obvious. Like, why is a movie like Black Widow ending with a fortress falling out of the sky?
Yeah, that should have been more. They could have done the exact same story with the exact same results without like a giant ass exploding set piece.
Yeah.
Like James Bond movies wouldn't do that. That scene would be a building, a regular ass building.
Yeah, that's all it needed to be. And but it's like we already put the money into it. We gotta have something fantastical to separate us. Like, no, Marvel didn't work. Like, Iron Man 1 didn't work because it was set up in this fantastical world with all this fantastical technology. No, it was Marvel has always kind of worked because it's like it's a parallel to our real life. You know, like the first Iron Man movie, like there's nothing fantastical or crazy about it until Tony Stark decides, hey, I'm gonna build a suit of armor to
with
escape
a box
from
of scraps and a cave.
with a box. Exactly. Like because it's so not down to earth, like, you know, Christopher Nolan, but it's like it feels like, okay, you know what, this is realistic enough where like I believe that this could happen. Like it's not, and then all of a sudden now all the nanotech and all the it's taking us out of like believing like any of this could be fun. Any of this could be any of this could really happen. And it is truly, I mean, I will say this, the movies themselves on an individual scale aren't bad, but they're so average or they're so boring where it's like I don't remember most of the details from these films.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. Like if you're going to make characters that people want to come back and see again, you got to make them where I want to remember them. And I don't remember, and most of these movies, like I said, I'll be honest, like I said, even Shang-Chi, I liked it. I've only watched it once. Like I've no desire to say, hey, I really want to watch Shang-Chi again. Like that's not a good sign. Most of the Marvel movies, I could at least say, like, hey, yeah, that's a good enough time. I'd like to rewatch that. But most of the days, I really couldn't care. I really couldn't care.
And that's me starting Marvel Phase 2. I was like, okay. I'll see Thor. I like the first one. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't care. Oh, everyone's nutting themselves over Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't give a shit. I mean, I ended up seeing it, but I was not like,
you weren't
I gotta see it. Oh my
sucking
god! How is this movie going to work? It has a talking tree in it. It'll be fine. It's a friggin' Marvel movie.
Yeah. But at least to kind of jump off your point, we came to the first Guardians movie, like I ended up walking away saying, hey, I liked all those characters. I'd like to see those characters again. Most of the new characters, even the Disney Plus shows I liked, I'm like, I don't care. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's not a good sign when I'm like, I don't care if they show up again. I wish, they're good actors. There's good actors involved, but like that still doesn't make me want to see these stories again. And Phase 5 so far, again, the difference between Phase 4 and Phase 5, very slim. And Quantumania so far being the dividing line, not really setting a new standard for like, oh, here's what we're doing going forward.
Well,
Again,
it's okay. It's okay because you know what? I know we were all hating on Quantumania last week, but now Marvel's perfect again because Guardians was good.
I mean, that's true. The check came through.
No, I'm mocking the internet people who are like this sucks. Now it's good again.
Everyone was making fun of MODOK's ass. I saw it on all the shit posting groups, and now nobody says a damn peep about it.
I wonder what people will say about the Marvels. I'm sure they get review bombed because girls.
Oh,
ew, icky.
It's not one, not two, but 3 girls. And as Black Widow taught us, girls are the most valuable resource on the earth.
Girls, get it done. No, I saw the preview for the Marvels. It looks fun. It looks like it's a fun little movie. I like how it looks like their powers are all swapping around. That's kind of like a fun little thing.
I appreciate the weird concept of it. It's like, okay, you use your powers, you swap places with someone else in this trio. That's fun.
It is interesting that they didn't call it Captain Marvel 2 or Captain Marvel, the Marvels. I don't know. That they went with a completely different thing. I don't know if that was because of any backlash against the first Captain Marvel and they wanted to like downplay it, or I don't know. Or I'm just reading too much into it and thought
probably.
They're just taking the series into a different direction with all the Marvel characters, the Captain Marvel characters.
And you better hope you watch those 2 Disney Plus shows, otherwise you're going to be fucked.
How like understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
Again, that's like I'm curious to see as we go forward, as they bring these characters into the movies, if people will be like, I don't understand. What is this? What is happening?
Yeah.
If they'll turn people off. We'll find out. Again, I don't know who was in charge of doing what, but I've heard some things that Marvel may be pumping the brakes on some of the shows, which I hope they do,
Mhm.
because it's just too much. It actually makes me want to get invested into Marvel less.
Well,
But
and I think it's just kind of like well, let's talk to the state of streaming. I think they had that set up like, okay, we need to make sure there's always new content, always new content. But now it's like we're past the golden age where it's like it's less about like, hey, here's what my thing has. It's like now it's like nothing's sacred. Shit can just go away and be deleted forever. So it's like so that golden age of streaming where it's like everybody has these little fiefdoms of like we own this property. If you want to see stuff from this property, you got to buy our package. Now it's just like do whatever the fuck you want, and we're just it's all about cost cutting and making sure we're hitting the bottom line of getting new subscribers. Which who the hell knows what that means? Half the streaming services
right,
I paid for it and I'm like you know what it's there. If I watch it, I'm sure like if you did a average statistic of like what services I watch, I'm sure someone would be saying, "Oh my God, you are not spending your money well."
agreed.
but but yeah, it just I mean I don't know where the future holds. I'm optimistic, but I know and I'm hoping that they could stop the machine because they have everything kind of again set up in a pipeline where it's like you can't easily course correct. Hopefully they can realize that okay, so people are liking certain things, they're not liking other things. Maybe we can maybe instead of just keeping the stuff that people hate, we put in the stuff that people like. Or going back to what made Marvel successful, hey,
Robert Downey Jr.
exactly. Give him another reload up that dump truck full of cash. But no, real talk, doing what I thought DC was going to do, but that I don't know if that's still the plan, which is just have director focused projects and say, hey, do you want to make your movie the way you want and you'll have very little interference from us? Then go right ahead, go nuts.
Yeah, Disney's not going to allow that.
No, they're not going to allow that. They should allow that because that would make things interesting. Because at least, again, with DC, it's like, you know what, this is nuts. I don't know what if anything's good, but I appreciate what's happening. I appreciate that you could have a movie like Shazam that's basically like big with superheroes. And then you have James Wan going blowing out the VFX budget with Aquaman. It's like you know what? That's weird, but it's like they want to do that. I'm for it. Now everything's just trying to be homogenous, and I think that's not what people really want. They want a unique voice.
Yeah, I mean, more movies stay memorable because of how they're presented. Like everyone remembers the Tim Burton Batman movies because they're just so
Yes,
weird. Um,
you're about to remember them again in about 5 days.
we'll see. Um, People remember the Nolan movies mostly because that was the thing at the time, and they had their own style to them. People definitely remember Batman and Robin. I proudly own that on Blu-ray. But will people remember? Like I don't know, and I guess there's so much superhero stuff in the market now. It's so saturated. It's like I'm ready for this thing to die. So we'll see.
I don't think it's ever going to die, but I definitely feel like it needs to.
Take a long
It needs to
rest.
hibernate, like 10 years. Like I'll be honest, like it's only now that there's conversations about rebooting Harry Potter. I know we had the Fantastic Beasts movie, but those weren't Harry Potter proper. Just
No,
like
and they failed miserably.
oh, absolutely. But like I can agree with you. Like I think like a 10 year hiatus. You know, like Godzilla. Like Godzilla will disappear for like decades at a time, and then all of a sudden Toho will be like, "Yeah, we're gonna make more Godzilla movies." Like that's kind of I hate to I know this will never happen, but it'd be nice if Marvel. That's why COVID was probably the best thing to happen to Marvel. They had a
Hmm.
year long break where people didn't have any new content, and then when it came out, people absorbed it. Like
Right.
there's no break between 4 and 5. The holiday special came out around Christmas, and then springtime. Guess what? Quantumania is right there for you.
Or was there any break like that with the other?
I don't think so.
There was. Let's see. There was Avengers came out, and then Iron Man came out the following year.
Yes.
So
The
there
following
was
summer.
the following summer. So there was a break there. What about the end of Phase 2? Phase 2, July 17th, 2015, Ant-Man. Let's see. Phase 3, May 2016. So about a year. I think they're just trying to having so many. They have so many characters they just want to shove out. I don't know if this phase should have been a rebuilding phase. I feel this phase should have been like a Marvel Phase 1, where they just have all these characters just slowly come back out, which I guess it kind of did.
They
but
tried doing that. Like the big theme of Phase 4 is like there's an emphasis on legacy, and there's a bit of there's legacy and like epilogue is probably the biggest thing I would take away from Phase 4. But even with that, like it's not enough to like get me excited for these characters. Like again, and go back to Love and Thunder, like, oh, we introduced a new Thor and she's dead. And it's like, okay, I guess Chris Hemsworth's still gonna be Thor going forward, which I guess I'm not trying to disparage Natalie Portman, but it's I mean they're about the same age, actor wise.
Mhm.
But it's like still like, okay, if we're going to build, if this is going to be truly a new phase, we need something to set us apart. And it's like, so far, not really. Nothing feels like we're rebuilding a chapter. I mean, the closest they've had to the Marvel movies in terms of like their individual trilogies and like or quad movies, whatever you want to call them, is probably. And I will say this is an early spoiler, but Guardians 3 probably has it in terms of like, okay, this is both like this feels like a good continuation, leaves Guardians where they can continue, but also it's a clear, definite end to a chapter.
Right.
And none of these movies have really done that, where it's like this feels like something's changed or the status quo has shifted.
Well, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 1, 2, Avengers, and Iron Man 3 feel like that's the end of a chapter. But then that ending's completely disregarded by the time Avengers 2 comes out.
Yeah, because now he's back to being Iron Man.
Yeah, because like I'm not going to be Iron Man anymore. I'm going to spend time with Pepper. I got my heart replaced, which I guess he could have done at any point in time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's a fucking billionaire.
Well, it's like, why didn't he do this sooner? But
then don't forget he retired at the end of Avengers 2 to come back out of retirement for Civil War.
Right.
And they came out of retirement again for. Well, no, I guess he was back in the game for Spider-Man: No Way Home.
That's true.
And then he's back in the game again for Infinity War. So, yeah, Iron Man is just.
He's a regular Tom Brady.
Exactly. But he doesn't have the rings, so there's that.
The 10 rings. But the 10 rings got him in the first Iron Man movie.
Fair enough.
Hey, it's all connected.
So,
all right. Well, I got nothing more to say. This has gone on way too long. So
Marvel's dog shit. All hail DC. Kiss my ass. That's all.
I'm all in on the Vertigo cinematic universe. Bloodspot was great.
Isn't that the Vin Diesel movie where
Yeah. I didn't see it. No, because you know why I didn't see it? Because no one else did.
No.
And that is something you could take to the bank.
I bet if Marvel made it, I bet it would have made $1 billion.
Probably. Marvel could slap their name on Earthman and it would be $1 billion property.
Oh my god. Dude, let's try get sell Earthman to Marvel. I bet it could work. Let's get
I'll get Feige on the phone and
Is Feige on Cameo? Put like somebody Rob Liefeld's got to be on Cameo, I bet.
I'm sure that guy's a charlatan.
Dude, if we get it, if anyone has a connection to Rob Liefeld, say, okay, we need you to write a story where Deadpool meets Earthman, and then suddenly we're in the MCU, baby.
It's all coming together.
And I'm writing those coattails.
Ride them away, buddy.
I saw that play when I was a youngin.
And you were in the audio drama as an Olden.
That's right. So like I said, I just want my check. I want my check.
Cut the check. Cut the check. Yeah.
We did it. We covered it. I don't think we left a stone unturned.
Maybe we should have, but that's neither here nor there. So, all right, that is it. Next week, we're going to be talking about quality entertainment, such as Twilight. This is Nick.
I'm Cousin Charles.
Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to the all-new CultureCast. Follow us on Twitter. Drop us a line at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We can't promise we'll read it. Theme music by Dana Vodovaz. Check out their work on YouTube at Vodovaz Music Productions. This has been a Saltwater production. Original material copyright 2023. Thanks for listening.
Actually, hold on one second. I actually got to pee really bad.